Good afternoon and welcome to Cortina, Italy for the third session of the World Archery Field Championships finals matches. This afternoon will feature all the senior individual bronze and gold medal matches. We'll open up with the bare bow, followed by the recurve, with the compound ending the day. For those of you who have not been joining us, my name is Crystal Gauvin. I'm from Team USA, and I'm joined here in the booth this afternoon with
Corey Smandich from Team Canada. It is a beautiful day here in Cortina, Italy, and it looks like the wind is picking up a little bit and dropping off a little bit at the same time, so it'll be a little interesting, a little swirling this afternoon, so I guess we'll see what happens, especially on some of the long targets, which yesterday proved to be very interesting for most teams.
And on the screen you'll see this is a schedule for the afternoon. We open up at 2:30 with the bare bow women's bronze final. We move through the categories, men and women, wrapping up with the men's gold compound match, ending the day. So again, the stands packed in a little bit more than we saw this morning. The sun's out, pretty warm. We see a lot less layers than we saw this morning. Again, we're opening up with the bronze final for bare bow women.
Well, the weather is definitely better than we had there the last couple days, especially during all the knockout rounds. They were pretty moist.
We see here in the bronze medal match, we have Italy versus France, and in the gold will be Sweden versus USA. Both of these archers shot very consistently against each other in the semifinals. We see a 51 versus a 52, but as we've seen, this field is completely different than what they shot their semifinals. So it's going to be really interesting to see if these senior bare bow archers had a talk with their counterparts that shot this morning, shot team round yesterday, and how they're able to adapt and whether they're able to hit scoring rings on that fourth and final target. So we see here the archers are making their way to the field.
Some big cheers from the crowd. Big smiles from the archers. It should be a real fun match for these ladies.
So it looks like Italy will be shooting on the left side, target number 1, and France will be shooting on the right side, or target number 2. We saw her, I believe, out here yesterday shooting in the team match. So again, as we saw this morning, archers that have been previously on this field have definitely an advantage over those that have not yet been out on this field. So we'll see how this match plays out.
Oh, especially with some of those longer cuts. They're tough to judge on your very first attempt.
And as we heard from John Demmer this morning, for bare bow, it's very individualistic. There's not a cut chart they can use. Some people have to add, some people have to take off, and it's very different for each archer depending on how they do their aiming system. So again, we start up with target number 1, just like we did with the juniors. The bare bows are going to be shooting from the blue stakes. On this first target, we see it's a cross hill. So again, for bare bow and recurve, we're going to really pay attention to the lefts and rights here, as some archers will be, you'll see them kind of cant their bow and they'll miss left or right because of that. So keeping their bow, the riser of their bow, nice and upright is going to be very important on these targets.
And we see a little shading for the Italian from her coach there.
So left-handed archer, she had the sun right in her eyes. We have a 2 versus a 4. So early lead by Italy. But again, we'll see how these archers adjust on their second and third arrows after shooting their first arrows.
Thankfully, it looks like the wind has calmed down just a little bit for them.
A 2 for Italy and a 1 for France, so 6-3 after 2 arrows.
And France is struggling a little bit with this one. She went very high for her first one and extremely left for her second one.
So let's see how she corrects on her third. Great arrow there by the Italian archer, just missing that 5 ring. And it looks like a 3 for France, so unofficially 10-6 after 1 target with 3 to go.
few interesting words for a coach.
So that was the 60 centimeter target. They're now going to move to the 40 centimeter target. And again, in the finals venue, we see some archers are better at the longer distances and the bigger targets, and other archers are better at the shorter distances, smaller targets. So in the finals venue, you shoot one target at each of the 4 target faces as part of the field round. So a 20, a 40, a 60, and an 80 centimeter target face are used in this match.
And you can also see them carrying around their spare equipment just in case of a equipment malfunction.
So in a finals venue, you are not allowed to call equipment failure. You cannot take a timeout if something goes wrong. You shoot 3 arrows in each of these targets.
Looks like the sun is being a factor for these ladies as well. You can see both the coaches are grabbing their pieces of paper to shade their archers.
Yeah, definitely. After being out there on the field earlier, it was bad, but it's gotten worse this afternoon as it's come up higher overhead. So as they're looking up to these targets, the sun's going to be right in their eyes. So target number 2, barebow archer shooting at 20 meters on a 40 centimeter target.
That should give you guys an idea of just how steep this is.
You'll see the archers leaning back as they come into full draw.
2 fairly decent arrows from each archer just over.
So both of them probably either not cutting enough or adding a little too much if they're adding on these, depending on their system used for the angles. But again, we see them lean back, and that's with the barebow. There's no clicker. There's no way to know what their draw length is to be consistent, and so they need to lean back and keep that consistent form that they're used to draw back to the same place. So we have a 4 and a 3 on the second arrow. So
cut just a little bit too much.
So it looks like France is going to pick back up a point. So we now have a 3-point swing between Italy and France.
Well, France had better get moving. She's only got about 40 seconds left to make this last arrow. For sure.
She's going to be happy with that. It's one of the few we've seen in the yellow with the barebow on this target today.
France is now at about 25 seconds. She won't be very happy with that one.
So they're calling that a 3, meaning the target 12 versus 11, and that gives Italy a 5-point lead halfway through this match. But again, as we saw this morning, anything can happen. This is by far not over at this point.
Oh, not even remotely. There's some very difficult targets coming up here.
So now the archers are going to move over to the bunny target, target number 3. For the barebow archers, this is the 10-meter shot on the 20-meter face. So there's 3 bullseyes. Each one is the size of an indoor target face. Each archer must place 1 arrow in each of the bullseyes, but it's up to the archer to choose which order they want to shoot the bullseyes in.
Very different from the IFAA round, or the NFAA in the States.
Yes. So let's see here what happens. We have seen quite a few swings on this target, especially in the barebow division, so we'll see if France is able to pick up some points. She does have a 6-point deficit to Italy coming into this target.
We also had a huge controversy with this target during the team rounds as well.
Yeah, for those of you who were watching the live broadcast, I actually need to apologize. We were not given information of what happened. If you look at the results, you will see Germany ended up winning over Italy after we had watched the match and saw Italy had won. And the target stakes were actually mismarked for the team round. They were told they were shooting 20 meters instead of 15 from the red stakes. And that's why we saw some uncharacteristic misses from some world champions. And it was decided that that target would be thrown out of the match. And so only targets 1, 2, and 4 ended up counting in that match, which gave Germany the victory over Italy.
You see the Italians starting, and actually the French starting in the middle target.
Yeah, both of them. We've seen that a lot from the Barebows, starting in the middle, and we have a 5 versus a 4, so she did manage to pick up 1 point, the French archer. We do see a little bit of a breeze on their hair blowing. It looks like solid 5 for France on the bottom target. Apologies, that was for the Italian shooter. France is still at full draw, and she shoots on the top target. It looks like a 3.
Yeah.
Yep. So she gives back the point that she had gotten on the first arrow.
And another solid 5.
For Italy.
For
so
Italy.
Solid 14 on that. That's one of the better barebow scores we've seen on this bunny target so far. So France is going to want a good arrow here. And might have caught the 6 line. That's a 5-star. So again, it's either a 5 or a 6. We're going to wait for official judge ruling. If it stays a 5, it'll be a 7-point lead for Italy. If it gets upgraded, it'll be an 8-point lead. But again, as we saw this morning, we have seen 8-point leads disappear overnight on this 4th and final target. So it's really anyone's match, especially in this barebow classification. 50 meters on that final target on the 80 centimeter, and very few barebow archers have scored all 3 arrows. I think only one maybe this morning got all 3, and she shot 2-2-2. So it's confirmed that 14-14. So a 6-point lead for Italy heading into this last target.
Well, it's still got to be very comfortable having a 6-point lead going into the last, even though anything can happen. But it's got to make you smile a little bit.
I don't know. If I was shooting barebow right now, after seeing last night, this morning, how many of these barebow archers have missed the target, I don't think I'd be feeling too confident, even with a 6-point lead.
Well, that target's intimidating even with a compound, so I can't imagine what they're looking at.
So again, we see the coaches up behind the archers on the stake. They can give some words of advice. They can help them with the cut, give them feedback on what they think they should shoot this for, but ultimately it's up to the archers to make the decision on how they're going to shoot this. Again, barebow, we tend to see this morning lots of left arrows. So we'll see where these ladies, they paid attention and make adjustments. I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like it must be a 2 because we're showing a score or a total of 38. So I'm guessing that must have hit the 2 ring. So that's huge that she hit a scoring ring on her first arrow.
And that's a solid miss.
That's a miss. So
just
again,
out the top.
I believe the Italian archer was out here last night, so that's a huge advantage for her coming out here today. Huge confidence boost.
We apologize. We can't quite see the target very clearly, so bear with us as we try to find the arrows. No trouble finding that one.
That is a 6.
That is beautiful.
And that's only, I think, the 3rd person that shot a 6 on this target.
Including
period.
compounds.
Yeah, and the only barebow, I can promise you that. Wow, yeah. That was beautiful.
That was absolutely impressive.
I heard it hit paper. Oh, looks like a 3. So she'll be happy to have hit the target. One of the few barebows to have done that. Let's see where this last arrow goes. We hear the crowd cheering. It's a 4. That gives her the win, regardless of where this last arrow by France
and
goes.
And a huge smile
Look
from
at
the Italian archer.
And she deserves it. A 6 on that target is, I'm really impressed.
Absolutely. I don't know that I could do it with a barebow for sure.
Looks like a 1. So final score 48-34, and the Italian archer is your bronze medal winner.
And rightfully so. I mean, she shot wonderful through this round.
Yeah, it was great. She's one of the few archers we've seen today that pretty much led throughout the entire round, and that's been very rare. We've really seen a lot of flip-flopping, especially on those 3rd and 4th targets, but she really didn't let up. And you can see breathing a little bit of relief.
Yeah.
She's over and done with, but well-deserved bronze medal, and congratulations to France on the 4th place finish. Nothing to be ashamed about.
Absolutely not. I mean, with the caliber of archers that show up to the World Championships, I mean, to place anywhere within the top 10 is, I mean, it's just beautiful. It's something to bring home, something to be very proud of. I mean, yes, you always want to place in the medals, but it's...
Well, that's a great view there of the 1956 Olympic ski jump. That's our venue for this finals match, and you can see how massive this really is. It's really hard to get a sense of what that angle is from these overhead views, but what a beautiful setting. You can see the old stands and the ski jump up at the top.
We were up at the top earlier, just looking around, and I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful up there. The scenery is incredible looking down onto the venue, and this tells you just how steep it is. We were trying to take pictures, and to see the actual shooting bales that we were shooting, we couldn't even see them from the top.
I believe it. It's pretty crazy out there. So now the barebow women, we head to the gold medal final, where Fawn from the U.S. will be facing Lena from Sweden. Now, Fawn is on her very first World Championship team, international team with Team USA, so to make a gold medal match in the barebow division, that's impressive.
Big cheers for the archers as they take the field.
I believe the Swedish archer is a pretty experienced veteran, so I expect some pretty good scores out of her in this finals venue, but I don't think she's been out here yet, so we will see if she has any struggles on this arrows and how she's able to react on her second and third and make adjustments. So again, USA will be on the left, target 1, and Sweden will be on the right, target number 2.
To make the gold medal match in your first time out is it's got to blow your mind.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling. I did that at my first outdoor world championships, and I can say it's a really, really awesome feeling to do that. We see in Fawn's coach's box is John Demmer III, who was in the booth with me commentating a little bit this morning for the final match of the day. So you'll see him out there. He's a very experienced barebow shooter, has some world titles with the team, and wins a lot of stuff in the U.S., has really grown the barebow division from very small numbers to, I think they've had over 300 people at some of our larger events. So really expanding the barebow, getting young kids involved and more archers. He's doing a lot to bring barebow to the U.S. So you see him back there giving some experience to Fawn.
That's got to be so comforting to Fawn to have such a pool of knowledge behind her.
Oh, definitely. So we see Fawn draw back first. Let's see where this first arrow goes. Solid 3, a little bit low. We've seen a lot of the archers hit low on this target. And 3 high for her opponent. Interesting fact, in the team match for Team USA, Fawn either shot a 6 or a 1 with her 4 arrows. So she definitely can shoot the middle. And that's just off the 5.
The wind is tamed down just a little bit again.
It looks pretty dead down there. And just off the 5 on the left side for Sweden. So they're matching each other arrow for arrow here. This is a good match. Looks like a low 3. So she's going to be a little upset, I think, with that arrow. But we'll see what her Swedish counterpart does here. Again, I think she's a very experienced archer, so yep, puts a 6 in her last arrow. So each one got a little closer to the center till she found the middle. Big smile on her face as she comes off. So 3-point lead for Sweden after target number 1. They're going to head up the hill to that second target. So a lot of this finals venue is really not overthinking. I see a lot of the archers out there questioning, and it's really about making shooting a good shot, first shot, and making adjustments from there. And so this is where the veteran definitely has the advantage, having been and shot in this situation before.
Well, once you get into the pressure cooker of the finals, I mean, anything can really happen.
For sure.
It's just whether you can keep your head cool and whether your coach can really give you some expert advice that can keep your head in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But it sure tells you how steep this course is. Just you can see just how bad people have been kicking into the hill just to gain a little foothold. Because I tell you, when you're shooting up at the sky, it feels like you're about to fall off the earth.
Yep. Yeah, the morning session, the juniors did a pretty good job, I think, of kicking out the ground for these seniors, so they won't have much work to do with that. They have a pretty level area for their feet to stand. So again, this is 20 meters uphill. You see the Swedish archer kind of moving around a little bit. Her stance might be a little wider than some of the juniors. So trying to get comfortable. And Fawn opens up, it looks like with a 4.
Looks like 4 right on the line.
She's a little low. Again, we've seen quite a few of the barebows hit low, I think, on this target. So see what the Swedish archer does. She's just off the 6, I think, with a 5. Yep. So 3-star and 5-star for the 2. So both of those are going to need a judge call. And a high 1. So I think she overcorrected. And that right there, just beautiful 6. That group, that's impressive with a barebow.
And Fawn knows it. She's been told. So let's see if she can keep her head in the game. I hope she does.
So that's a 4. She's not happy with that. You see her coming off, but she still has a solid lead. And Fawn shoots a 3,
Yep.
also high. So at this point, she just needs to regroup and realize that the last 2 targets, we've seen a lot of changes on the barebow side. So
especially with
over.
that final target uphill,
Yes.
that can change the entire score in a hurry.
Yep. So and Fawn's arrow is upgraded to a 4, her first arrow. So we'll wait and see. It's a 10-point unofficially, but we're waiting to see Lena's first arrow. And that was not upgraded. It stays a 5. So we do have a 10-point difference leading into the bunny target at 10 meters. So we see John there talking to Fawn, making her laugh, trying to calm her, relax her. Probably not talking about archery. You'll see some of the best coaches out there do a great job of distracting their archers and giving them something else to think about besides what they're doing out there on that finals field.
Some bad jokes really help. Anybody that knows me or has shot with me, bad jokes are all about fun. Make everybody smile, take their mind off things for a minute.
Yep. So Swedish archer shoots first with a 3. Fawn drills the 6.
Outstanding shot by Fawn.
That's a confidence booster right there. So,
I mean, that's a big swing in 1 arrow.
yeah, definitely. So let's see how Sweden responds. She shoots a low 3. No,
Just
4.
off the 5 line.
Yep. On the top target.
See if Fawn can produce another 6. That first one was just perfect.
Oh, just off. So 5, solid 5. So that's 2 great arrows for Fawn. And
it looks like a 5 for the Swede for her last arrow.
So with 1 arrow, Fawn can definitely pick up some points on this target with a good arrow right here.
Hopefully she can pick up another 6.
Yep. That looks like a 6 to me.
It is a 6.
So that's a 5-point swing on one target.
Outstanding target by Fawn. She's got to be happy with that.
Definitely. And that's what you want going into that 4th and final scary target. You want the confidence. You want that boost on your side. You don't want to be questioning. You see the Swedish girl talking to her coach. She may be, wondering what happened, and that's not the confidence boost you want going into that last final. You want to feel like you're in control. So let's see what this 50-meter target does. So again, we have Fawn, who has John, who shot this target yesterday. He did miss the bail, but he should have some good information to pass along to her about how to shoot this target and hopefully score arrows right away.
A little inside information on this target is worth its weight in gold for sure.
Definitely.
And she's happy. She's dancing a little bit.
Yeah, I told her before going into this match, I said, just have fun. I said, first World Championships, you made a gold medal match, just enjoy it. So I think so many of us, we get in there and we're so serious, focused on what we're doing, and in the blink of an eye, the match is over and you didn't enjoy it. So glad to see she's out there singing.
Out there singing, a little bit of dancing.
Looks like the Swedish girl smiling again. I think her confidence might be back a little bit. She's feeling ready heading into this fourth and final target.
Wish both of them the best of luck on this.
So 5 points separates, but as we've seen, Baribeau has really struggled to hit scoring arrows on this bail.
It's that whole self-confidence on this last target.
She scores her first arrow, so that's
like a
huge.
low one.
So it may not sound like a big deal, but scoring your first arrow on this target, I think, is huge confidence. And she misses off to the left. I think she actually had the height pretty good, but just way left of the bail. And that's a 3.
That's a 3.
So that's 4 points now. 1 point away from Sweden, with 1 arrow for USA and 2 arrows to go for Sweden. And she might have caught the 1. I think she did.
Caught the 1 just inside.
So that is huge for her, because now Fawn needs at least a 2 to tie. And that's a 4. Solid arrow.
Great target for Fawn.
Okay, so Sweden needs a 2 to tie, a 3 to win the match. So she shot
Definitely
a miss.
Breathing hard right now.
A miss and a 1, both to the left. Let's see how good she is at compensating.
And it's a 2.
A 2. We're tied. Shoot off. Shoot off. So third shoot off we've seen. We saw 1 in the evening session. We saw 1 in the morning session, and now this will be our third shoot off we've seen.
Now, are they doing the shoot off on this 50 meter as well?
No, they're going to move over to the left. There's another set of targets, a shorter distance, but it's further up the hill, so it's slightly more of an angle, but pretty close to the same angle as this target, I would say, because it's the same hill, same slope of the hill. So you'll see over to the left that new set of pegs. Again, they'll move up to the blue pegs. And I can't remember from this morning. I want to say it might have been 35, but we'll find out.
Some words of advice from John there.
Yep. And the way the shoot-off works is unlike this, where they've had a chance to compensate if their first arrow isn't good. Shoot-off, you get 1 arrow closest to the center. So there's no, you want that first one. You have to guess the yardage, angle, cut correctly, or you have lost the match. So huge confidence, I think, huge advantage for Fawn having John and knowing that you put your first scoring arrow on this last target and your opponent didn't. So we will see. We'll see him move over to the left here.
Well, she's got to be feeling good about herself to come back from 10 points down to be tied. Going into the last one, she shot great on the last 2 targets. So she should have a real good, confident, strong shot on this last one.
But on the flip side, we have the Swedish girl who has experience, so that's definitely works in her favor. So we will see how this goes. We see the stakes there marked. The 45 is the red, so we will see what the Baribeau moves up to shoot. Again, this is a 60-centimeter face they'll be shooting. But as you can see here, it's very much a similar slope to what they just shot, just a little further up the hill.
Looks like 40
meters. Yep. So 10 meters closer than they just shot, just probably a hair more angle.
And you can hear the music in the background. It's gone to the heartbeat.
Yep. They love that with World Archery. And these pressure packed, who's going to shoot first? Can they put a good arrow, put the pressure on their opponent?
Fawn
Looks
steps
like Fawn.
up, nice and confident.
She puts a solid 2 just off the 3 line. It's not a bad arrow, actually.
Not at all.
Oh,
my.
Wow.
Well done.
Beautiful. That was a beautiful 5, and look at that.
That is a happy archer.
She earned that.
That is a very happy archer.
For sure. That was beautiful.
That was a great shot. You couldn't ask for more.
No, definitely. Barebow archer putting in the gold at 40 meters on that kind of angle in a shoot-off is impressive.
I mean, but Fawn cannot be unhappy. This is her first time.
No.
She made it to the gold. She came back from 10 points down.
Yeah.
I mean, she shot amazing.
How many archers can say they came back from 10 points down in a match, in a finals venue, to tie? Very, very few.
Very few. But I mean, great show of sportsmanship by the two archers. This is what it's all about.
Great to see. I'm just always impressed watching these barebow archers because I can't hit a target 5 meters away with a barebow on a 122 centimeter face. So I have all the respect in the world for what these ladies are doing out there. Just super impressive.
It seems to be almost one of the faster growing categories nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's a lot easier to get into. You need less equipment. It's less expensive. And, you don't need just as much stuff to lug around.
Well, no, but I mean, no less skill. It's incredible the amount of skill set that they have to shoot these bows.
For sure. Like I said, I have all the respect because I could never do what they're doing. So.
Not without a great deal of patience and practice.
Great shooting by both of those ladies. Sweden does earn their World Field Championship title. Again, we see the stands packed in. And we're going to go right into the barebow ceremony, podium ceremony. We'll bring the ladies back out. They'll get their coveted World Archery Championship medals. It's pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. I have 2 of them myself.
I have yet to have one. Hopefully soon.
I'm missing a field one. I got to work on that.
Just a beautiful venue. I mean, we took the gondola up to the top of the mountain yesterday and just had a real good look around. It's just an incredible place to be.
See everybody handing stuff off, getting ready for the podium. Got to look pretty.
You see some of the U.S. coaches in the background.
There's another view of all the flags lined up representing all the countries that shot here this week.
They really don't mess around when they come to the ceremonies either. I mean, the medal ceremonies are immediate. They're very quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get on into the next ones. They've taken away my wind speed, but it still looks like it's dropped a little bit since we started our barebow matches.
See smiles on faces. I think some people are a little excited right now.
Well, Fawn looks like she's having the time of her life right now.
As she should. Silver medal at your first World Championships.
But I mean, all of them, just huge smiles. Yeah. They're just overjoyed to be here right now.
And they all earned it.
Absolutely.
What things they went through all week, shooting conditions they shot through.
Oh, the footing this week has been just really interesting day. I almost went down a few times, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I definitely fell.
Well, there was a few times my feet looked like I was doing the Roadrunner backwards, but I managed to save myself and my bow.
I think you were one of the lucky ones.
There's your Italian third place.
You see Tom Dillon placing that medal around her neck. Big smile on her face.
That's got to feel really good to get an award in your home country.
Definitely. We've seen a lot of Italians on the podium today. They've all taken advantage of this home field advantage. And there's Fawn again from Team USA, silver medal at her first World Championship event. And she gives Tom a hug. You don't see that too often.
Oh, she's enjoying herself.
And the barebow world field champion from Sweden is going to step up here next.
She's got to be so proud of herself, because to battle through that, to lose your 10-point advantage, and then to win it on the shoot-off target.
With that 5, so Lena's going to get her gold medal and her Longines watch, which all the senior winners will receive. So great shooting by Lena. Congratulations on your title. We're going to turn for the national anthem of Sweden.
There are your medalists for the ladies barebow.
With that, we wrap up with the women's barebow ceremony, and we're going to move into the men's barebow bronze and gold medal matches. And for that, we're going to bring back here in the booth John Demmer, who's going to hopefully be able to give you a little bit more insight on what these barebow shooters are going through on this course, what they have to deal with, and hopefully just provide some insight that I can't. So with that, here's John.
Oh, it was a fantastic match.
And have it come down to the last target, because that target is it's really a lottery target. For barebow archery, that angle we never practice. Like I said before, we don't have a cut chart, so everybody's going to be a little bit different. I mean, you can just tell by where they're hitting. Everybody already had some kind of insight on what to do, what to try. If I shot exactly like Fawn did, I would have been in the center. If she shot, well, she doesn't shoot like me, but we tried to adjust a little bit. Some people cut that, some people add it. Fawn ended up having to add, where I would have just shot straight on, and we have similar impacts. So it's going to be curious to see how these two gentlemen do on that last target, just based on different individual styles. We have the Frenchman, and we have a Swede going for bronze. I had the pleasure of shooting with David for the first day, or no, second day. I'm sorry. He was 4th in qualification score.
Some solid scores.
Yeah,
some very solid scores.
Yeah, for the condition. Frederick from Sweden. 250 feet a second with a recurve.
Was he not in the finals at the last 3D Worlds?
He was.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought.
Yep. He ended up taking silver. But yeah, this was a very tricky event for both the unmarked and marked. Our scores weren't as high as they were in the previous Worlds. So it was a very, very, like you said earlier, it was very tricky. There wasn't like any targets that were straight.
There was no gimmies.
There was nothing. Like, we had an 11-meter bunny uphill, and it was like 30 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
And we got that target when we shot it. It was like pouring rain, so there was absolutely no gimmies.
And with the rain, does that affect you guys quite a bit?
And David with a solid left 3. Frederick, solid 4 left. That seems to be the common theme here. We're shooting a lot to the left here on this target. No levels on these bows, so maybe some overcompensation, trying to lean into the hill some. But yeah, the rain does affect it some. If it's just a light drizzle, it's not too bad.
Ooh, solid shot.
Frederick just hammering it. Ooh, David.
Is that a miss? That is a miss.
Probably wrong crawled that one, or just a little bit nervous. But yeah, going back to the rain. Oh, let's get Frederick's last arrow in here. Nice solid target. 464. 14. He's going to have a good lead going into the second target. Ooh, he's a little quick on that. 4. I think David looks a little nervous right now.
He does look like he's shaking a little bit.
Yeah. We don't have many opportunities to do stuff like this out on the stage, out in front of people. So we're very similar to rookies when it comes to something like this.
I guess it really depends on how well you can handle those nerves in the moment.
Yeah, that's the challenge. I mean, it's just like it's just like if you're a dedicated hunter and something comes in that you're not used to seeing, it's very hard to control the nerves if you're not very familiar with it.
What would you be telling your archer right now after this first target with a miss?
Just to stay in there, make some good shots, because no matter what happens, I mean, you've seen earlier that last target is such a huge swing. We've seen archers miss 2 arrows and then maybe catch a 2 on the 3rd arrow. It's just the way this course is set up, you're in it until the end. But
you definitely had some great words of advice for Fawn, because I mean, after you had a chat with her, I mean, she just immediately changed around. So let's hope that the French coach has some great words for his archer as well.
Yeah, it's you have to be very adjustable when it comes to this, because there's a lot of these shots that we never shoot. So just like in any other discipline, you have to make that good first shot and then just quick adjust after that. I mean, this is like a 38-degree uphill shot.
Solid 3 up.
Yep, a little hot. Frederick's a good 4.
Frederick looks really solid right now when he's holding on target.
Yeah. He's shooting right around 50 pounds, too. He's
That's a big draw.
That is.
Solid 5.
Another low 4. So the thing with shooting 50 pounds is you can screw up a little bit on the back end of your shot. It's going to come through the fingers a little quicker. So if you're a little bit sluggish, you might get some low 4s. You're not going to get the low 3s or 2s if you're shooting a lighter poundage.
You're not going to hold very long on target either with 50 pounds, are you?
Not unless you practice a lot.
Yep.
Do some holding drills and stuff. Frederick's another nice strong shot for. Ooh.
Center 6.
Spider.
Great last shot by David.
Make some points up on that one. Good. Down 5 points going into the third target.
You can pick up points in a hurry on those bunnies, though.
Yeah.
Those are definitely not gimme targets.
Nope. 5 meters, it's a gimme. 10 meters, not as much. 15, that's the target that gets real interesting in a hurry. But 10 meters, it's a good distance where you can make up some ground.
Well, we sure saw some ground made up on the last one. So let's see what happens with Frederick and Jackson here.
Now Frederick's he's in a good position right now because he probably got some intel from Lena, probably got some from the juniors that shot before. So we'll see how he makes out on that last target. Again, it comes down to we have so many individual styles that one person's cut's another person's addition. Looks like 5's around.
Sure does.
Good shots.
Just a little different equipment on each archer. Very individual.
Yep. Now they both seem to have a slightly lower anchor than you see in a lot of the Americans. We're used to shooting a lot of closer targets, and they're used to shooting a lot of longer targets.
Great second shot by Frederick.
Yep. Another one.
Nice one by Jackson.
5s. Frederick might have caught the 6. Shaping up to be a pretty good target for both of them.
Absolutely.
Boy, his form's looking good.
And he looks like another solid 5.
Oh, high 3. Still a little quick on his shots. I think he's going to see this video and realize he's got to probably slow down just a little bit. Getting a little antsy.
It looks like spin wings on one archer, and what are those other ones?
Those are Bjorn Dragonflights. They're made in Sweden. Little different twist on a vane.
Okay. Is there any definite advantage from one to the other, or just personal taste?
I think a lot of it comes down to personal taste. Now they advertise that they'll I don't know, be a little bit more forgiving in wind and just a little bit sloppy on the fingers. It'll be a little bit more forgiving because it has just a little bit more flex on the end of the vane. So if you do get in some contact, that's what they say, that it makes it a little bit more forgiving. I usually stick to more of the traditional spin wing, like an XS or a Spider for this kind of tournament.
Going into this 4th and final target. This is the one that's been really a pain for every archer.
Yep.
It just does not look comfortable shooting that target.
2. Okay, that's not a bad start. And David with a 3. Okay. Made back 1 point. 43-37 right now. 2 arrows left.
2 arrows and 6 points. I mean, Frederick's looked so solid all throughout this match.
I mean, he's got his form's looking really good. Another 3. That's a good one. David 4. Okay.
So he brought back another 1.
Down to 5.
And Frederick can hold it for 1 more arrow.
Just 2, and he's got it. 5.
Nice. Great last shot.
Yeah.
Big smile.
Well, you can see a little
bit
bit nervous. Yeah. But he finished that. David shot a really good final target. 3-4-4 is a good score on that target. Frederick for the win for 3rd.
It was definitely a different venue than the last World Championships in Ireland, so it has its own challenges that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see if we'll have these kind of angles again. I know
it's not typically this steep for World Archery.
No, this is, I haven't shot an angle probably half of this. I think the final venue in Dublin was probably the hardest angles I've shot at a World Archery field so far.
And it was the first, target number 1 was really the hard target in Ireland, if I remember correctly.
Let's see here. Target 1 was the bunny, I think.
No, that was target 3.
Okay, target 1 was a 60 meter then. Because we ended up on the 80. But either way.
Yeah, target 1 was the 60 centimeter uphill. And
that was probably I would say 15 degrees, somewhere around there. And then,
Well, you've easily doubled that on
yeah,
this.
oh, absolutely. There we got the standings right now. Frederick, 3rd place with the bronze. David's going to finish 4th. And you can see our next match is going to be David Garcia and Eric Johnson for the gold medal. Two beasts of barebow archery. Eric seems to be in or around the finals every single Field Worlds, World Games, multiple world champ, multiple World Game champ.
So just a wealth of experience from that archer.
Oh, absolutely. They have some great archers, and David is same thing with David. He's at the top or near the top in both 3D and field. Just a great all-around archer. Two different styles. I think Eric's right around 41 pounds. David's shooting like 33, maybe 34 pounds. So you got 2 different approaches going into this.
Looks like quite a lot of weight attached to the bows as well.
Yes. Yep. We seem to like something around a total anywhere between 6 and 7 pounds. Shooting weight seems to be a very good stable weight for 40 pounds plus or minus.
So now with going to a heavier limb, to like a 50-pound limb, would you need to adapt that riser a little bit more to add a little more weight?
Yeah, it depends on the archer. Like I said, for my best hold, for if I was shooting 39 pounds, it's 6 3/4 pounds of mass weight. That includes the limbs. That seems to hold the tightest groups for me. It seems to slow the float down a lot. It's very similar to shooting with a recurve, where you're trying to balance the front and the side rods to that perfect weight combination where you just see that float just start slowing right down.
Well, here we go, starting the gold medal match at 35 meters.
Let's see what happens here. Everybody's been airing to the left side. See if these guys make that adjustment.
Must be a little bit of the overcompensation.
Yep, and without a level, it doesn't take a lot. I mean, you just have just a couple degree tilt in your bow.
And Eric has dropped his 2nd arrow.
He's got plenty of time.
About 87 seconds left.
David with the first arrow, high 3. And you'll see 2 different form styles here. Eric's got the more traditional.
And a miss on his first.
A little bit of.
I think he's unhappy with his
something looks like
middle.
Yes, it looks like something came a little loose. It probably too tight of a knock bit, bounced him off the first couple times. But he was a little hesitant. He had a little giddy up on that shot. But he has like the more traditional high elbow for the European side. Davis is a little bit lower, a little bit more static release. Both shoot a 5 on that. The 2nd arrow. Eric came back nice.
Just seemed really uncharacteristic to see him drop 2 arrows immediately.
Yeah.
And finish off with a 4.
Now you see David here. He's got a little bit of a somewhat dead release. It's just a little bit. Yep, there you go.
Seems to work for him.
Yep, it's been working for him all weekend. He shot the high first day, high second day. I think he shot his first match to get into the gold medal match really strong too. But yeah, you saw Eric fiddle with his string knocks a little bit. I think he's kind of twisted the bottom one down a little bit.
And it looks like we're starting to look right into the sun on some of these targets.
Yep, looks like we're going to get some shade for the archers on this one.
No wind speed to really speak of. It's about 0.3 meters per second.
This is where it starts to get interesting.
Because the most you can use is a piece of paper, 8 by 11, I believe it is.
Yep. Just size of a sheet of paper.
Not like some of the big ASAs when you have 6 or 7 umbrellas.
Right.
Could get interesting when we start to see the archers with the scopes.
Oh yeah. Might have to have 2 shade spots for them.
I believe you're not allowed.
Oh, okay.
I believe the max is 1.
Okay. So they're going to have to pick their...
Either their peep or their scope.
Yep. Yeah, this is a tough shot with that sun right behind the target.
And you see it fly out to the side a bit for David.
So Eric made up 2 points so far. Eric, another strong
Solid shot. Nice 5. And a 3.
One to the left. Last arrow. Eric shoots another strong 4.
Good target for Eric.
Yep. He's going to make up some points on this one. Let's see if David rotates that bow over a little bit. A little low for him.
A little better.
Tied up. 22-22.
Amazing swing already.
Yep. I shot with David, or I'm sorry, Eric, the first Worlds I ever went to. You know, I heard about him, read about him. You know, I know he's a legendary archer, and we were probably 4 targets in, and I seen him flinch an arrow into a tree, probably 3 feet to the right of the target. And after that point, he just absolutely hammered down, and I want to say he shot the highest qualification score. He's a very mentally strong archer. And that's what you need to. That's what you need to do in barebow. Is, you know, we're gonna make mistakes, but it's who can minimize them and who can overcome something bad and just keep focusing on making great shots. He's one of our best that can do that. Nice
Solid
shot.
start.
Yep.
Just off the 6.
Yeah, he's in his groove right now.
You think that couple dropped arrows and that miss really seemed to have pushed him right from the start?
Yeah, a lot of people, that would rattle people right off the bat, all right? You know, you're losing time and something's not quite right, but no, he just plugging through another strong shot, low 5, just out of the 6.
Another strong shot.
Yeah. That might be a 6. It might have caught. Eric, that looks like a liner.
They're calling it a 5.
Yep. It's another good, strong target for Eric.
I mean, like every other match, it's going to come down to this last target, it looks like. And what a last target.
Yeah, it's an interesting target.
That was just out for a 4.
4.
So it really depends on whether he got that 6 or not. You'll see that little asterisk there that needs to be a judge call right at the target. And it's been upgraded to a 6.
Tied match going to the last target.
All the pressure on the archers for that last target. It depends on if they've had some good advice from anybody that shot this target, or either earlier today or yesterday.
Yeah, it's what helps here is if you had a friend that has a very similar style to you, and they can pass on some decent information. But that's the tough part. Like I said earlier, you know, one man's cut is another man's addition. So this will be interesting. Oh,
Center.
perfect. Oh,
Beautiful first shot by Eric. That's really got to put the pressure on David.
this isn't Eric's first rodeo. David left 2, or right 2, I'm sorry.
Great height, though.
Yeah.
So he's got the height. He just needs to tip his bow a little.
Oh, he's putting that pressure on. 4.
And he's already loading for his last arrow.
Okay. So Eric's got to shoot a 3, and this will be it. 4. Strong target.
He is a happy man right now.
I got some inside information on this one. So I was told earlier that we'll watch David's last shot.
Oh, and a miss with his last. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a good solid match. It comes down to that last target. And
Absolutely.
It's almost like a lottery target where you're either going to strike it good or it's not. You know, you're going to come out. But yeah, I was told earlier that there might be some big plans with Lena and Eric if they both ended up winning individual gold, and it's happened. So, you know, we might see their relationship go to the next level and
Little Whitechapel in their future?
Yeah, they might get married
Trip
here
to
in
Vegas?
Cortina. No, Cortina.
Oh, Cortina.
Yeah.
What a place to get married.
Right?
Little pre-honeymoon.
Yeah. Congratulations to Eric and Lena.
I mean, you got to give it to Eric. He missed his first arrow. He dropped 2 arrows going into that. I mean, that would have rattled a lot of guys, but he stayed strong. He shot well throughout the entire thing, and he's claimed gold.
Yeah. Yeah, he shot good. He came in as the number 2 seed. He shot good every day. You know, he's one of our true champions, and just adding to the collection.
Well, it's really interesting this year because we went to that new shoot-up system where the top 22 make it. Obviously, top 1 and 2 go straight through to the semis. But that really kind of changed the game this year a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. So if you're a 3rd or 4th seed, you have to win a couple matches to get into the semis. So it's nice. It makes the qualifications important on some level. So you're rewarded if you have a great first 2 days, and that's something that's nice about that format. Because I always hate watching archers just absolutely dominate something and not get rewarded for it every single shoot. So it's nice to have that just a little bit of different system.
Well, it's also nice too because you've seen. I obviously watched the compounds a little closer than the other categories, but you've seen in the compound. I mean, Nico, he's gone all the way through a lot of those shoot-up matches, and he's now shooting for gold.
Yeah, it's. The shoot-up matches, it's a roller coaster ride. If you can get away with winning your first match, I mean that first match is very crucial. That's the one that you're always super nervous on. That's the one you're going to make some mistakes. But once you get that first one under your belt, people always say, oh well, he's getting tired or she's getting tired. But we're archers. We shoot a lot of arrows a day. We don't get tired.
I actually think that by the second match, you're well versed in that little 6-target course, so you actually have an advantage over the new guy that's coming in.
Yeah, you get an idea for the slants and the holds, but you're also in that little. We're in the first match, so it's like you're in survival mode your first match, and then the second one it's like, all right, game on. This is I got this.
Yep.
And you see a lot. We saw it in the women's side too for bareboat. We saw a lot of. Women just started at the bottom and won their first 3 matches. On a roll and just kept going.
Back and watch those elimination matches as well, because traditionally we haven't been able to walk around and have a watch on what everybody's been doing on the top 16 and then the top 8. And
it's nice. It's nice for the sport where you can set it up where you can get some video and footage. That's what makes it hard for other for like a 3D or field is in the past for you know, you might get a glimpse of one target. Now you get to watch it all unfold and watch the champions do their thing. And we got Frederick in there for third and David for second, and Eric Jonsson. I actually lost count how many he's got of these already. This might be his fourth, but he's just been, his first one came probably like 15, 20 years ago.
Wow.
He's just been very good for a long time.
Just a very dominant archer
Yeah.
in the field.
Yep.
Now, 2 years from now, it's going to be in Yankton, down in the States.
Yes.
It'll be very interesting to see what they do with that course.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to do some work to make it a little challenging. Here we are for the Swedish national anthem.
And there you have your medalists. I think they've cut us off. Thanks, sir. That was good fun.
And next up, we'll have the recurve women's bronze medal match, where we will see Japan and Italy face off. Jessica Tomasi, definitely a familiar face for those of you who watch World Archery, World Cups, World Championships. She's been here before, versus Japan's.
Now, did Tomasi shoot the team event?
Not sure who. I think she did, but I'm not positive.
No, she'll have. There's been enough people that have shot this now that everybody's going to have some interesting insight for these archers coming in.
On the other side, we have Japan, which haven't typically seen Japan represented much in these field events, but we have actually two archers both on the men and women's side in the finals, so I'm sure she'll be passing along some information to her teammate shooting for gold a little bit later on.
Well, we've seen some great archery already from the barebow side. Let's see what the recurve side has for us. You see the sun coming down pretty hard. Some of these targets could get very interesting.
Definitely, and you see it moving in and out from behind the clouds, so whether it's out from the clouds at the moment they're shooting, you know, that last target, or if it's under the cloud, it's going to be a big game changer, I think, whether they're able to execute a good shot. Again, coaches are allowed to shade the archers with a set piece of paper that's given to them by World Archery.
Just one piece, I believe.
Yes, they're given a specific, you see in the, actually the Italian coach has one in his hand, That is the legal max size, and you must use that. You can't use your own index card or hat or any other prop. It must be the provided board provided by World Archery. And the coaches must actually declare this before coming out on the field, whether they would like to use a board or not. Stepping up to the first target. Jessica doesn't hesitate, just jumps right up. Stake, shoots a shot.
6 to start.
That's pretty.
That was a wonderful start.
Yep, that's exactly what you want to do here. Put the pressure on, and she did. That's a 2 for Japan. So again, I believe Jessica was out here last night, so I'm sure she has her settings dialed in.
Another great shot, mid-5.
Very good shooting. She's not a stranger to these finals matches.
Great 6.
Oh wow, what
Great
a comeback. Yes, definitely. And that's what you need in this setting. You have to be able to come back with that second arrow and make an adjustment from that first.
Do you think we're going to see the Koreans start to dominate field? I haven't seen them out at all yet.
Who knows? I think it depends on if it gets put in the Asian games, right?
Yeah. I mean, that would be very interesting to see.
Oh, definitely.
Because they
dominate
are
everything.
producing some amazing archers.
Mm-hmm.
3 points.
3.
See what Tomasi can do here. Ooh, high 3.
Well, I mean, she still has 3 points over her opponent from Japan.
Yeah, just don't think that last shot was as clean as she would have liked.
Think a little finger flicky.
We'll see as the judges walk up to score. I don't think there was any liner, so it should stand 14 to 11. We can hear those Italians cheering for their team.
They are very vocal.
I think they're getting louder as the day goes on. I think they were still sleeping this morning a little bit. They were kind of quiet for the juniors, but they're out in full force this afternoon for their senior.
Teammates behind you, and to get those cheers.
Oh, definitely. Nothing better than feeling like you have the support of your team behind you, and it really gives you that little bit of extra edge you need to really go out there and do your best.
I think that's why. I mean, a lot of fun for the archers and the teammates.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's some bugs they need to work out a little bit with the format and who really has the advantage in some of the matches. But overall, yeah, the course was set. The 3 courses were close together. You could easily walk between them for spectators, for people who had been eliminated could cheer on their teammates, and really was exciting to see.
We see the shadow boards coming out.
Oh, definitely. Look at that, how strong the sun is on these archers' eyes without that board. So. See a slight adjustment there. Italian's coach was guessing wrong. So
2 4s to start.
5, 2 4s, yeah. Okay. And again, we see some left arrows on this target with recurve and barebow shooters.
Is that going to be just the tip of the hill, or is it going to be a little bit of the sun in their eyes as well?
We've seen it all day, so I'm guessing it's not the sun. I think it's more a little bit of the hill, probably canting just a hair with their bow as they raise it up high.
She overcompensated and went for the other way.
Yeah. We have a 4 low, so matching arrow for arrow on this target. So who's going to put one in the yellow first? That's the question.
And 3 4s.
She kind of laughs, you can see. That was
And
a
a great
nice
6.
shot. That was pretty to watch. Nice clean follow through on that. Quick shot. She'll be happy with that one.
And cheers from the Italians.
And that extends their lead now to 5 points as they head to the bunny target.
Well, we've seen leads of 10 disappear really fast on these last 2 targets, so it's still well within anyone's grasp at this point.
She definitely looks confident out there, doesn't look hesitant or nervous or anything like that. She's smiling, looks relaxed, and so I expect to see a big number for Jessica here on this target.
Well, it was nice. We're seeing big smiles from the competitors and the coaches. Everyone trying to take the nerves out of it.
And I think everyone's really enjoying this finals course. As tough as it is, I think there's times where the finals venue on a field course is pretty flat, and it almost feels like a letdown after shooting qualification, that you go through all of that shooting up and down and having to compensate, and then to come out for a medal match and shoot a flat target like a normal FIDA event.
Yeah.
It can be a little bit of a letdown, so I think people are enjoying this.
This is the best one I've seen personally, but this is only my second one.
Same
so
here.
It's
yeah, Dublin had the rocks, but it wasn't any crazy angles.
It was not as steep.
No. Or I think it is, but definitely clear on that right hand side. Our opponent has yet to shoot an arrow. She let down, drew back again.
It looks like a 4 as well.
Yep, so again, they're matching each other's arrows on the first arrow. It's a little shake there. Smart let down. Let's see if Japan can put one in the yellow here. Put a little bit of pressure.
Yep.
That's a 5.
Nice 5.
Yep.
Oh.
High
High
3,
three.
I think. Yep.
She had a full body shutter going on there.
Yeah. So I think this target is really difficult, having shot at both as a compound and a recurve archer. I think it's tough with the recurve because it's really hard to aim.
Looks like Japan scored another 5. Yes.
So you want a quick shot through your clicker, but if you're clear off in the 1 ring on this tiny target, makes it tough. So looks like she might have caught the 5. Looks like
Just
they're
off
calling
for
a
a 4.
4. So
Not her best target,
no, I think she's going to be disappointed in that.
but she's still at this time up by 2 going into that last target. So, I mean, we've seen it change quite a bit on the last target for the barebow side. Let's see what happens with the recurves.
Yeah, again, we've seen a lot of the recurvers shooting left on this. So again, probably canting their bow a little. So we'll see who compensates for that, who has a good first arrow. And we have seen misses with the recurve. Not as many as the barebow, but we have seen quite a few archers miss on this target. So really anyone's game at this time, with a 2-point lead for Jessica Tomasi of Italy.
Well, I guess it really depends on if she can hold her nerves, because it looked like she was starting to shake on that on those bunnies. So if she can keep her nerves and put them in the middle, she will win. But if she struggles like that bunny, it'll be very interesting.
And again, we'll see with Japan being out here. I think she's the first Japanese archer to be on this finals venue, so we'll see how good of a first guess she may judge. Again, they're shooting at 60 meters versus the barebow 50 meters, so 10 meters further back, straight up that hill.
I mean, that's a heck of a shot, no matter what bow you're shooting.
Tough thing with the recurve is you have that clicker, and trying to set up so you can get through that clicker can be really tough on these steep angles.
Oh.
And we see she lets down because she had a long way to go. She got that off pretty quick, and it's a high 2-3 liner.
Looks like a high 2. It's confirmed as a 2.
And we see her cranking her sight.
Italian coach is coming in as well.
Yeah. I think the sun just came out from behind that cloud right as she was about to draw back.
You can really see it coming in on your TV screens now. That looks like a great 4.
Yes, great first arrow. So,
So
that's
that
gonna be
draws
huge.
us.
Yep. So 2 arrows left. And
Oh.
a low 1. So overcompensated from that first
They're
arrow.
calling it a 2.
And still left. So let's see.
Oh, great last
shot.
arrow.
Great
Or second
5.
arrow, sorry.
Great 5. So that gives her a 3-point lead heading into the third and final arrow of the last target of the match.
And she does not waste time. She's already into it.
She knows what she wants to do. She knows where to aim. Can she? Oh, she's shaking.
Let that arrow down.
And
Good girl.
Jessica puts a good arrow up there. She's got a 5.
So the Japanese lady needs a 3 to win.
So 2 to tie and head to a shoot-off, and a 3 to win. And she shot a 4 and a 5 so far on this target. Looks
And
like
it's
a
4.
solid 4. She, Fukasawa from Japan, is your women's bronze medal winner.
I mean, it's come down to this last target once again.
Time and time again, 2-point lead at the end after coming in with a 2-point deficit. So 4-point swing on that one target.
I mean, good for her to keep solid and to make the adjustments and just put it where she needed to.
Definitely, and you see, if you noticed, on her first arrow, she set up kind of short. She let down, and then her next 2, she pulled through real nicely. She didn't have a lot of arrow left, so she did a great job of compensating for that first arrow. Whereas Jessica, we saw, had a little bit more point to pull through her clicker on a lot of those shots, so probably wasn't setting up quite high enough, getting that angle to get the full draw length.
Now, how difficult is it to pull through that clicker going uphill like that?
Very hard. I mean, the more experienced archers may say differently. For someone new to recurve, I will say that we had a quad on Mark Day that was not as steep as these, and I struggled. I rarely let down, and I let down 4 times, I think, on that one target trying to get through the clicker. I never could, and eventually moved my clicker up, you know, a couple centimeters or something, and was able to get through and put that one in the gold, but we had really poor footing. It was a very steep angle that I was worried at just standing there I was going to fall down the hill backwards. So
There was a lot of those.
so trying to angle your body, upper body, backwards when you're on a hill like that is really tough. And that's what you need to do to get through your clicker. And now we see the gold medal. 2 very, very experienced field shooters here. Both of them, I think, are previous world champions, if not world games champions. They've faced each other many times before. And we saw Lisa out here last night in the team gold medal match when it appeared originally that Italy had won, and then after a protest, Germany was given the win when target number 3 was dropped. So that's Lisa from Germany on the left side. She's indoor, target, field, she does it all, champion at all 3. And Naomi Folklore from Great Britain, who was the 4th place finisher at the Rio Olympics.
Oh, wow.
So that was her best Olympic finish. I think she's been to 2 or 3. But very, very good field shooter. I think she's primarily retired from target and primarily just shooting field now, but definitely still a great competitor. She's doing a lot of coaching now of the next generation. But this should be a great match between these 2. Lisa dominated the field all week, both on marked and unmarked day, led the field by quite a bit, 20, 30 points each day. So she's had a great week. I honestly don't know what their semifinal matches were, but
Well, let's see if she can keep her domination rolling.
see if her sight settings are good from last night when she shot team match. Low 4. See what Naomi can do here.
Looks like
taking
she's
a
still
little bit of
gathering
time.
herself.
Yep. We do see this sometimes. Recurve archers will run down the clock a little.
Great
Solid
first arrow.
5, just off the 6, perfect height. See what Lisa can do with her second arrow. Great
Put it in the 6. That's
Yeah.
what she does with it. That was a great second arrow.
One thing you'll notice about Lisa's bow, compared to a lot of the recurve archers that have V-bars running off the top right around the grip area, see Lisa runs hers down low.
Similar to most compound archers nowadays.
hmm
What is the advantage of that?
Just changes the way the bow feels and balances, and it's really personal preference, but Lisa seems to shoot really well with that setup.
Looked like a 5.
And we have a 4.
And it's being
Naomi?
called a 4 for Lisa. We're down to 14 seconds.
She gets that shot off quick, and it looks like
Looked
another
like
4.
yeah.
So, looks like 14-13, 1 point lead for Lisa, even with that first arrow a little off the mark. And they're going to move over to target number 2. It looks like the sun's gone back behind the cloud again, so it looks like it's going to be playing games this afternoon, back and forth with these archers. So,
Well,
really need to pay attention, especially those compound shooters with their scopes. It could be interesting in those later matches.
well, it's going to be definitely interesting because you're only allowed 1 shade. So what do you choose? Do you choose the sight or do you choose the peep at that point?
It really depends.
You can see in the background there was the wind meter. It's still 1 meter per second. Barely any air movement. It's just all footing and just the lean of the hill.
Exactly. So they're going to shoot this for 25 meters. Again, we have uphill shot, which we have seen the recurve and barebow have tended to shoot left their first arrow. So Lisa was out here last night. We'll see how that affects her first arrow. Wolford's out here for the first time, making adjustments on the fly. Lisa has a very narrow stance, you notice, compared to Naomi. And that's
And she
a solid
puts in-
5.
That narrow stance doesn't seem to hurt her at all.
No. See, Naomi with a little bit more traditional spread stance and angled upper body, low 4. Whereas Lisa, you'll notice much more upright and a very narrow stance. See, quick adjustment on the sight there.
You can also just see Lisa's wind gauge on her stabilizer as well.
Right with her other arrow there. Looks back at her coach. He's spotting her arrows for her. He'll let her know exactly where the ending up. There you see her give it a couple clicks to the left.
It's going to be tight on the top of the 5.
4-star. So we'll have to wait for a judge ruling on that arrow, but unofficially it's called a 4. And you'll see she has Patrick Houston in her box. Also shot this week. Did very well.
Great target.
Look at that.
5s for Lisa.
15 on a tough target. Seen a lot of people struggle on this one. Looks like a 4. So that's another 3 points, which gives Lisa a 4-point lead.
We're still
the
just
halfway
waiting
part.
for a confirmation on that 1-4, which could be a 5, but it all depends.
See the judge getting the magnifying glass out, so it must be pretty close. Gonna look at it from at least 2 angles. She's gonna radio the call in. Let's wait for that. Looks like it was a 4, so it was not upgraded. So 4-point
And
difference.
you can actually see a little bit of spotlight on those targets too, which is actually kind of nice as a judge. You get a little bit of extra light on there
Yeah.
to make that line call.
See Patrick giving Naomi a little bit of advice. He shot very well through qualification. I think he was in 3rd place after the first 2 days. 1 spot out of that automatic bye into the semifinals. And we see Lisa and her coach checking over her arrows, making sure no broken knocks. That's something, especially in field, archers really need to pay attention to their equipment, make sure nothing's dinged or broken or could cause a problem on the way down to the target.
Oh, I can tell you a lot of times I'll try and clip on an arrow and it doesn't quite feel right. Have a look. Yep, that knock's gone. It's definitely rough on your arrows.
Oh, for sure, especially on those larger faces where everyone's shooting all their arrows at the same target. If you're on a bale with some good shooters, you can easily lose arrows quickly.
Well, especially during qualifications on the unmarked day, they had a lot of the big targets close,
Yeah.
which we haven't seen a whole lot of. But there was a lot of carnage out there.
Yep, I bet on the compound side especially.
Looks like a 4-5 liner, but it should be in for Lisa.
Little surprising. She's been left now for 3 targets in a row. I think on her first arrow has been left. So
That's being called a 5.
that looks like a low 3. So again, unlike compound with the recurvers, really this is a target where you can really gain points on your opponent.
Looks like just a high 4.
No, if you can have a good target here, you can definitely pick up points. Because you're not going to see many 17s or 18s on this target.
I think more importantly, this target is just a confidence boost for that last target.
Agree. So 4 for Naomi. Just going to adjust her sight a little. She's going to want to find the yellow on that last arrow heading into that 4th and final target.
Just see the focus on Lisa's
Again,
face there.
Lisa, another 5. So 14 on that target. I know she would have liked that 4 to be at least a 5, all yellow, but she's still going to maintain her lead.
It looks like a 4 to the right.
So she picks up another 3 points. It gives 7-point lead. But again, 7 points is nothing when we're talking about that 4th and final 60-meter uphill shot.
Naomi's already staring it down.
She's looking at it. You can tell. The wheels are turning in her head, trying to decide what she's going to shoot it for.
Well, you just hope that you've had some good insight on that target.
Yeah, because I can tell you a lot of archers have an idea in their head and then they walk out there and realize it's steeper than they thought and have to make an adjustment on the fly for sure.
Well, especially if you're not ever really shooting that type of elevation.
Which many of us aren't. I mean, not a lot of people have places where they can shoot these kind of angles on a regular basis. I've heard of some past champions like Jesse Broadwater going in a warehouse and getting a forklift and things like that to practice for the Pro Series.
Oh yeah, I mean a few of the guys have set up stages of scaffolding and different
Exactly.
things. I mean you do what you have to do.
Yep. I think John Demmer that was in here earlier has shot in a query to get some up and downs, and Steve Anderson has talked about going to the Salt Licks out in Salt Lake City.
I know, I believe Tim Gillingham has hired one of the crane type lifts to shoot from the top
Yep,
of.
Yep. So people do what they need to, but a lot of archers out there come here without the experience of shooting these. Now both of these ladies are experienced archers, so pretty confident that they're gonna hit this target.
And that's a high 3.
So, first arrow scoring, so she'll be happy with that. But she looks back at the coach to get some feedback.
Just right into it.
See both of them. Ooh,
And that's a possible miss to the left.
wow.
And it is a miss.
But you'll notice both of these women had very little arrow point left to pool when they were at anchor. And that shows you that both of them have experience. They know what they're doing out there. They're not rookies. Unlike some of the, especially the junior women we saw earlier today. So
And that looks like a 3-4 liner.
Yep. So still high. Let's see if Naomi can put. Ooh,
And that
I
looks
think
like
that
a clean
completely
miss.
missed. And she looks back confused, kind of laughs. She doesn't know what happened on that one.
I mean, Lisa doesn't even have to shoot this last arrow.
No, 14-point lead with 1 arrow to go for both of them. This is just for pride here now for Lisa.
Oh, she
She'd
wants
like
to hit the middle.
Exactly. She'd like one in the yellow. And a
forks
4.
to the left.
Solid job. And big smile on her face. She knows.
Had a
Great job. 4 just off the line.
kudos to Naomi for having a nice, strong, solid last shot.
Yeah, a lot of people would be really rattled after those first 2, but she came back strong. And there's Lisa, your new world field champion.
Now I'm noticing a slight discoloration on both ladies on where their anchor is. There a little talcum powder or something on
Yes,
there?
exactly. Keep from slipping, especially I think, my guess is at these angles, have a little bit more contact, a little bit greater chance as they're sweating, maybe nervous in the finals venue. Naomi typically, I see this with her a lot in all settings, so I think it's kind of a normal thing for her. I don't know about Lisa. I haven't noticed that in the past, so I don't know if it's just to be prepared or what.
Well, they lucked out because that cloud cover kind of came over for that last
Perfect
target.
timing. They're thinking they're lucky stars on that one.
Oh, no doubt, because I would not be happy looking up at that target in the sun.
No.
But
See the German coach entering back into the stands as the women get ready for their podium ceremony.
it's really nice how quickly they get through the medals.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than winning a match and being excited and then sitting around for 2 hours while the other matches have to come back out and do that. And you got to be in your proper attire and be ready. And this way, you know you already have your team uniform on, you're ready to go, and then you can chill out and relax. You're done.
And you still have that high from winning.
Exactly.
It's just an incredible feeling no matter what you win.
Yes, no doubt.
A good look at the Dolomites in the background. Just an incredible landscape that we've been shooting in the past week. There's actually a lot of history involved in the area.
Really?
Yeah, no, there was a lot of World War I action in here,
Okay.
and they still have quite a few monuments, and even some of the old bunkers.
Okay. There was Anna Umer from Slovenia, previous medalist at this event.
And Japan's first medal.
Great shooting by the Japanese archer.
Well, I mean, she held it together, and there was that big point swing on that last target, like
Yeah.
we've seen this whole time.
Look at that big smile. She's happy.
Well, she has every right to be.
Definitely. Especially because, like I said, she didn't have a lot of teammates giving her information. She had to do it on her own with her coach's help. And so to come out here and win that bronze.
And she had one of the closest first shots as
Yes,
well.
yeah. I think it was a 4.
Yeah, just under.
Yep. So great shooting by her. See Tom putting that bronze medal around her neck.
Well, it should be exciting for Japan also to see if this will really kind of push some more athletes into coming to the next ones.
Yeah, definitely. Be great to see some more Asian countries make their way to field. It's always good to see good variety.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've seen the absolute domination through the Korean side. So once they pick up the field game, that could make things very interesting.
No doubt about that, because we know they know how to train, and field wouldn't be any different for them. They'd be practicing these angles. They wouldn't come unprepared, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely not. They don't really half-ass anything.
No. And big smile by Lisa. Well deserved. She led the way, the women's field, this entire tournament. Truly some great shooting. Gold medal, world field champion.
And a massive smile.
Yeah. Well deserved.
Well, to lead right from the very start the whole way is just so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any other division had someone as dominant as Lisa was in the women's recurve division this week. That was actually Lisa's second gold medal of this tournament, winning also the title with her teammates in the field last night.
Well, that definitely gave her a leg up
For
this finals match.
But she's going to be happy about this one. The team one, I know, with the controversy, you never want to win that way. So I know this one's going to feel extra special for her to get the individual along with the team.
Well, especially like we've said it 3 or 4 times to lead from start to finish. I mean, that's how you want to win.
Exactly. That shows pure dominance. With that, we're going to move into the men's. We're going to start with the bronze final, which is going to feature what a lot of people thought was going to be the gold medal final. We're going to Brady Ellison from USA and John Charles.
Definitely surprising for a lot of us at home.
Yep. So the 8 and 9 seed are actually facing off for gold, and the 1 and 2 seeds are both facing off for the bronze medal. And both of these guys have been here. Both of these guys have won. They're good friends, and they've faced off head-to-head at field championships, at indoor championships, at outdoor target championships. They are no strangers to one another. They're no strangers to a field course. This is going to be a really exciting match.
Well, especially Brady. He's going to want this bad.
And JC's not?
Oh, they both are. But, I mean, Brady's a good friend, so I kind of lean that way. But
both of these guys are great competitors.
Yeah,
JC is one of the nicest archers you'll meet out there. Good guy. And he'll be shooting on target number 1. And Brady will actually be shooting on target number 2. So JC from France on the left. And Brady Ellison from the USA on the right.
Yeah, it was definitely surprising because Brady came into this. We'd had a chat before, and he was well prepared. He was ready. It's just stuff happens.
Yeah, and I mean, unmarked day went great for him. He was leading, and then gave up a couple points to John Charles on unmarked day. Flopped with him and was actually in second. And both of them had tough semifinal matches. They were coming in cold per se, and their competitors, which we'll see in a minute, had won a bunch of matches and just, I think, had a slight advantage, knew the course, had the nerves out of the way, as we discussed with John earlier. And I think that was the difference, that both of these guys had close matches, but ultimately started maybe a little slow, gave up a couple too many points on that first target, and couldn't make it up when it was only a 4-target semifinal match, just like the finals venue.
And that was a lot of talk between us archers as well, kind of the new system and how it was going to play out, and especially how it was going to play out with the guys getting a warm-up, per se, before you reach the top seed.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, you have both of these archers being top 2 qualified. We're guaranteed a medal match.
Oh,
Brady,
great 6 to start.
6. So again, Brady was out here last night shooting team round. silver medal. I know a little disappointing for him. So he's going to want to come back and shoot well here.
Looks like a 4.
On that. 5. So, in automatic buys to the semifinals, meaning they were guaranteed to be seen in a finals venue. And that's much better, much more characteristic. He
Just
adjusted.
above the cross.
Again, these guys are very experienced in this game. They're going to know, you're going to see, if their first arrow isn't on, their second arrow is. It's going to be most definitely. They know how to correct for any mistakes.
Well, they're getting down in time. We're hitting 30 seconds.
Both have 1 arrow left. They're both used to shooting in finals venues in FIDA with 20 seconds, so I'm not worried. That's another 6 for Brady.
Great first target by Brady.
And we're just now at 20 seconds. So again, that's normals final in World Archery, 20 seconds in outdoor target.
Just a little high 5, but still a very solid first target.
15 is actually one of the better scores we've seen out there on that first target. But Brady's 17, that's impressive. See if he's able to use that lead to his advantage.
Well, especially going into this next target, because this one seems to be the problematic target with the sun, but it looks like they're getting a lot of shade from the clouds right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be very sunny right now, so we'll see if the sun stays behind for all 3 arrows. That could be a factor if it comes out middle of the target. If one of them shot 2 or 3 of their arrows and the other archers only shot 1, how's that sun going to play? You see target arrows being marked and being pulled out, and they're going to get sent back down to the archers while they step up to the stake on target number 2. See Brady again kicking that out. It's giving him a hard time this week. I told him he had brand new white tennis shoes. Said I don't know if that was the smartest play this week heading into all this mud, but they seem to still have some weight left on them.
Oh, he's done well. He's done well. Everybody kind of looked at me funny the other day when I showed up in cowboy boots, but it worked.
Then you see JC with his black tennis shoes. I think that was a little smarter play this week.
Better color choice for sure.
So Brady low 5 looks like. You see him pulling out the binos and make sure he knows
It
exactly
is being
where
called a
that was.
5.
You'll see both of these archers draw a little bit different on this target than we've seen a lot of the women. Solid 5 there. And again, notice much different stances between the two. Both are experienced, but both have their own unique style of shooting.
Well, Brady is very tight together, just like the German was.
Yep. And that looks like it might be catching the 5-line high. 4-star, they're calling it.
Yep.
So looks
They'll
like
have a
he
closer look at that one.
overcompensated for that. A little too much, a little surprising there. See where John Charles arrow lands. And that
Just
looks like
out
it's
of
a
the 5 and the
4.
4.
Yeah, so he was not able to capitalize on Brady's second arrow.
Brady's already well into his last arrow.
See, oof, it was a little scary there, seeing them shake. Smart, let that down. Again, shows his experience, he knows.
Well, they're down to 17 seconds.
JC's just lifting with 13, but again, I'm not worried. He's used to this. Looks like a 6
Solid
for
6 for
Brady.
Brady.
And fist pump we see. He's happy, he knows that's clutch.
Looks like a high 4.
So I'm not sure what was going on there, why he let so much time wind down, but he did have to look like rush that one a little bit to get that off in time.
Do you think that could have had a little bit to do with that high 4 as well?
Yeah, I don't know. See him shaking his head. You see Brady walking over with Rod Menzer, previous world field champion himself. President now, CEO of USA Archery.
Well, between the two of them, that is a wealth of knowledge walking on the field.
Brady picked a smart coach to put behind him. Brady has his own experience, but Rod, definitely experienced archer as well, and coach. So definitely a good combination here. See, checking arrows, checking the nocks, and Brady's setting his sight for this 15-meter bunny. So again, this is one where with these two shooters at their caliber, I expect to see one of them at least with a 17 or better.
And that is not a slouch at all. Like, it's 17 on that target by any archer is well done.
Number here, I think it's going to pick up some points.
Well, you want as many points as you can going into that last target, because
sure.
we've seen so many lead changes on that target. It's crazy.
And Brady struggled on it last night, so, you know, we'll see. 4-point lead right now for Brady. He steps up right away.
I mean, he's stepped up and he's fired first on every target so far. And he looks like a 6.
I'm not sure. 5-6 liner for sure. They're
It's
calling it
5-star.
5-star, yep. So what can JC do on this first arrow?
JC really kind of draws well under his chin and brings it up.
Yeah.
A very unique style.
Yeah, and he lets that down. He wasn't happy. Again, this is a tough one, I think, to aim at with a recurve. Compound at 15 is much easier. 20, it gets a little hairy, but at 15, whereas the recurve, I think you're seeing a lot of movement on that little target. Brady's solid, strong 5 on that.
That looks like a 4.
4-5 liner, they're calling it, so we'll wait confirmation from the judges. Brady's got 1 arrow left, already 2 solid in the yellow. He's just going to want to put another one in the yellow here.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
a low 4.
a little low. Let's see. Again, we're counting down on the time a little bit. 2 arrows left, and there's 25 seconds left on the clock, but that's a solid 6.
Solid 6, but he better get on this last arrow here.
20 seconds, so again, this is a normal finals match time frame that he'll be used to.
He's going to draw with about 10 seconds.
We're at 5 seconds, so plenty of time still, but he needs to shoot. There we go. And that is a solid 6 again, so he
Great
corrected
target.
quickly after that first arrow. Brady had a little bit of hiccup on that third arrow, so does that swing the confidence heading into that last target? See Brady checking his first arrow, I think.
Well, they both have an asterisk beside that first target, so I guess we'll really see.
It's either a 2 or 3 point lead for Brady heading into fourth and final target, and his was also a 5, so neither archer gets the upgrade. 2-point lead for Brady, 1 target to go.
And this is, I mean, we saw back in a couple matches ago, 2-point advantage for Italy over Japan, and I mean, it ended up swinging 4 points the other way.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen 6-point leads disappear on this target.
Well, there's our little arrow tube to get the arrows down from the target. I heard it broke the other night.
Yeah, it crashed into some cables. Brady's digging out a spot. And again, I believe Brady had a 2 in the men's final last night, a low and maybe left 2. So we'll see how his first arrow lands here if he was able to make an adjustment. Lucky the sun is still behind the clouds, so they don't have to deal with that. He steps up first and shoots a solid 4, so that's a good arrow. It's on the left side, but I think he's going to be okay with that for a first arrow with a 2-point lead coming in.
Oh, absolutely.
That's low 4, so again, good first arrow. So again, we see the experience of these two archers coming through with both of them putting up a solid 4 on the first arrow. I don't think we've seen that all day in any of the matches, that both competitors come out with such strong first arrows. And that's
just off the 6.
Oh, he's going to be
great second arrow by Brady. Let's see what JC
caught.
see what JC brings to it. I mean, his first arrow was a low 4, but I mean, it was great line, so just
Yeah.
a few clicks, and he should be able to drift it right in the yellow.
Yep. So Brady's going to step up and shoot his third arrow before JC can get his second arrow off.
And I
That's
think
going to put
that's
some pressure on him.
definitely a pressure.
Oh, that's a right 3. So I think he overcompensated a little for that left and right. Probably torqued it a little the other way. And that's a 6. So 5 to win, a 4 to tie. Wow, what a game changer that arrow was.
Once again, that last target. It can't be said enough times.
No, but beautiful arrow. And again, look at, he came back from that first arrow, made an adjustment, and drilled the center. We've seen that multiple times from him today, even though he hasn't shot the course yet. And that's a 4.
So it'll be tied.
So we go to a shoot-off.
Oh, wow.
And Brady's laughing. You see, again, these two are good friends. They've shot against each other a million times, and I'm pretty sure it's probably not the first time they've had a shoot-off against each other. We see
The
Rod.
shoot-offs in the finals are always just that bit more exciting, that bit more stressful.
For sure. And we see Rod giving Brady some advice. Now remember, Team USA has already had an archer shoot this shoot-off target. Very few teams have had someone out there shoot that. So I'm guessing Rod probably got a couple pieces of advice from John and Fawn, who were out there previously. You can see Brady thinking about it a little bit. He's trying to make a decision. What's he going to shoot it for? Rod giving his input. Like I said, probably got some feedback. But again, barebow to recurve, it's going to be different. So it's not exact. So who can come out here with that first arrow? So again, both of them shot 4s to open up the last target. So who can guess this right?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about what I would shoot it for.
We
I'll probably be thinking about that all day.
Oh, for sure. And we know both of these guys can shoot 6s, no question. So it really comes down to who set their sight correctly, I think, is really going to win this match.
And right as the sun comes out again.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it's going to affect them on this target, but
Yeah, we'll see. Again, shoot off. It's 1 arrow. Time to adjust.
and that they changed the time again on the single arrow. I believe it drops to 40 seconds.
Correct. Ooh, Brady shaking a little.
Looks like
Caught
a 4.
the 4 though. So
It looks like he took a
decent-
little stumble on that one.
yeah, I think his footing wasn't the best. And JC again with that real wide stance, he looks very stable. So can he put this in the yellow or closer for? Oh no! And look at that,
Attaboy, Brady.
perfect left and right. So what does that tell you? He just misjudged that. What to cut that for? Shot it for a little bit too long, and he knows it. Brady's pumped though. He's excited about that bronze medal.
I'm not sure who's more excited right now, Rod or
Rod.
Brady.
Well, Team USA's seen a couple tough losses by a point today. We've lost shoot-off earlier, so definitely good for team morale to see Brady come out here and win that bronze medal.
And JC is asking him, what did you shoot
Yeah,
that for?
I think that's exactly what he said. Yep, they're looking at their site. Yep. Again, great friends, great competitors, these two. So great match. I knew it was going to be a battle to the end, and it was. Shoot-off.
I'd take nothing away from either archer. That was a heck of a battle all the way through.
And again, a lot of people felt like this was going to be the gold medal match. So seeing them shoot off for bronze. Funny thing, JC was quoted in World Archery article earlier this week that he's won gold, silver, bronze. So he said this year was either going to be a 4th place finish or a 1st place again. And so when Brady had to face him, I said, well, that's good news for Brady because he can't win and being in the bronze medal match. So I guess it's 4th place, and sure enough, 4th place for JC.
Well, you can't be unhappy with a 4th place either, though. I mean, it's such a field of competitors that you're battling through all week. To place in the top 5, I mean, you have to be happy with that.
It's tough, though. You're the only person out there that had to lose 2 matches, and I know as good as he was shooting, he's going to be disappointed. I think more in the semifinal match than this final bronze match. I think the semifinal match is the one that he's going to be kicking himself for.
Yeah.
Just like Brady was as well.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, now we're seeing our 2nd Japanese archer step up.
And I believe he won a medal at World Games in Poland.
And the home field team, Italian, and you should hear some big cheers for this guy.
Yep. He was out here shooting, I believe, in the team medal match last night as well. So he's been on the course before. But as we've seen, those Japanese archers, the female archer did very well compensating, making adjustments even though she hadn't been on the field. And I'm assuming she gave some information to her teammate. So we'll see how he does out there.
And she was still one of the closest first arrows.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Once again, if you look at the end of the stabilizer, you'll see a little bit of a wind gauge on there, just a thin bit of string just to show how much wind there is so you can gauge it.
So again, the Japanese archer will be shooting on the left target, number 1, and Italy will be shooting on the right target, number 2. Step up, first target they're shooting is the 40-meter cross hill. And again, we see this is where can really add an extra layer. Pull out some sunshades. Luckily, they're both right-handed archers on this target. I think it's going to help them out here.
Oh, for sure. If you were lefty, you'd be staring right into that sun a little bit.
You'll notice he anchors a little differently than a traditional recurve archer. He doesn't contact the string to his nose, which means he's actually losing a point of contact. But
too solid in the
solid
5
shot.
And that's got to put some pressure on the Italian right away.
For sure. He knows he needs to be in the yellow. He's still waiting. 80 seconds left on the clock.
If I remember, he did that during the semis as well.
Yep.
Waited quite a long time before he shot any of his arrows.
Yeah, that is a strategy for some recurve archers. They like to feel that pressure and have to shoot a fast shot, so they can't over-aim and hold too long. So that's a 4 and a
6.
Great 6. Great first target. 16, just off Brady's 17 on this target.
That puts a lot of pressure on his opponent in a hurry.
Yep. So he needs 2 6s here just to tie. Anything less, he's going to be down in the match after the first target.
And he's down to 30 seconds already.
So 3 star it's marked as. Could be upgraded to a 4. We see the sun reflecting off his sunglasses, so it is out there on his eyes. And that was a much better shot and a solid 5. So
we'll just have to wait to see what the asterisk is going to be, if it's going to be a 4 or a 3.
Yep.
But great opening target by Wataru.
So either a 3 or a 4-point lead heading into target number 2. We've seen recurve archers struggle a little bit on the second target. It's their first uphill of the day. So how they handle that is going to help predict how they do on that 4th and final target.
I think the people retrieving the arrows from the finals venue are definitely happy that they're using the foam targets instead of the straw bales that we were shooting into.
Yep.
A few times they got pretty tough to pull arrows out of.
Oh yeah. And I was thinking, pulling those arrows, if you really yanked, you could go rolling down that hill.
Oh, even out of these.
Yeah. And we see magnifying glasses coming out. It is a close one, so we're going to have to wait for the judges' call on that. Going to look at it from a couple different angles, make sure they get the call right. I've seen really great officiating so far at this tournament. Always good to see as a competitor.
And I mean, you see a lot of the judges time and time again at the field events and everything. The gentleman that was just calling the arrow, I just remember other times anyway.
To the 40 centimeter target. Again, this is the second smallest target shot on the field course. Sometimes hear it referred to as the quad because in qualification you'll shoot 4 of these targets per bale.
He did not look happy on that first shot.
No, didn't see where it went, but it looks like left 4. So again, we see left arrow by first And
A
6
much better second
correct
shot.
score. See, the top archers are correcting right away for their second arrow.
And he's already into his third arrow before the Italians even shot one.
Yeah, he is not messing around. He's stuck. But look at that space to his nose.
Yeah.
Wow. He's holding for a while.
He held for a long time on the last target
and
as
you
well.
See the arm start to shake, but that's a 6. He caught that, no question. The Japanese archer comes back. And I think
Looks
that's
like
also
another
a 6. Good target, 16 on that. Again, puts the pressure on Italy to put up some big numbers here. Ooh, that's a 4 left.
It's looking like he's trying to swing that in at the last minute
Yeah.
on those arrows.
I think he's really struggling.
Well, he's down to 30 seconds again.
Again, plenty of time. He's got experience. He knows what he's doing. He does have time for a letdown. We're just now at 20 seconds. And that was a much cleaner shot. Looks like a 6. So again, that second arrow he's struggling with. We've seen both targets. He's kind of had a little bit of a yank on those.
Looks like Wataru's going to hold on to a 4-point advantage going into the bunnies here.
Yeah, and we see a smile and a fist pump to the crowd. It's always great to see. We don't see that on the men's side as often.
Not all the time, no. But I mean, he's shooting well, even though his style is just a little bit different than normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it seems to work well.
It's a little bit different. And I think a lot of that comes down to everybody's body's a little different. The length of their arms, which muscles are a little stronger, the shape of their face. I found face shape really makes a difference, unlike compound where you have a release. Face shape really determines your anchor.
He wastes no time. He's
No.
already well into this.
Gold.
No.
And in these finals matches, gold with a recurve is most likely going to win you the match. So Italy still yet to shoot an arrow with 70 seconds left on the clock. And now we see him drawing back. Ooh, he's really struggling right now, I think. I don't know if it's nerves or what. Oh, and so definitely open the door a little bit here. That was a much better shot, much cleaner release. We see a 4, just shy of the 5 ring, just a little low. So can he adjust on this next arrow? We have 26 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time. He draws back. And 4 stars. So again, 4 or 5 liner low. So did not adjust from that second arrow, surprisingly.
I mean, right now we're looking at an 8-point advantage going into that last target, and that's huge.
It is, but we have seen 8-point leads lose the match.
I'm very curious to see what his first arrow is going to be like and how fast he fires that,
Yeah,
and
I
what
agree.
kind of pressure he puts on the Italian.
Yeah. If he can score his first arrow, I think the Japanese archer is going to win this match. I think that first arrow is crucial. Having not been out there and shot this, whereas the Italian archer, he may have a little less confidence from these first 3 targets, but he's been out there, so he's going to have confidence on this target.
Well, I mean, Wataru, he did have his teammates shoot this a little earlier, so hopefully their styles are similar, and she'll be able to pass on some good knowledge to him.
Yeah. So both arrows did not get upgraded, so 5 for Japan, 4 for Italy. And again, I really, my thoughts are here, Japan puts a scoring arrow on there, the first target, and I think that wins him the match.
I'm gonna bet it's within the first 5 seconds. That seems to be his style. I mean,
We see Judge.
he's already
one time.
grabbing string.
Yep.
He's
Up,
up and gone.
and let's see where this arrow lands.
I mean, he likes to put the pressure on.
And again, much better clicker control than some of the younger archers. Oh, but he lets down.
Big smile on his face.
I don't know if he was torquing his bow and his coach caught it, and you see that he pulled right through the clicker and let that down. So I'm guessing the pin was nowhere near where he wanted it when that clicker went off. So again, we see him Japanese step up, It's solid 4. Good first arrow. I think that gives him the match if I were to call it right now, betting.
I would def solid the whole match. There was nothing really different from any target. He stepped up, he shot. If there was an adjustment needed.
We see he was right on, both of them inches to go to pull through. These guys are right, look at that arrow, right on the tip of the clicker. And he gets that off, and it's just
out into a 1.
I think. Yeah. So disappointing.
Now if he hits in the 4. Yep.
So,
I mean, that basically gives him the match.
But surprising, that was right with his first arrow. He didn't compensate. He's still right-hand side of the 4, so interesting strategy for him. And there's a
much
4.
better shot from Mundia.
He made an adjustment. So let's see where this last arrow goes.
And another 4.
There's his adjustment. A little too much, but more than enough. He has a 15-point lead with 1 arrow left for Italy, so no way to win the match, but solid 4 there the entire time. Italy really looked like he was struggling a little bit in some of those shots. Look at that smile. So that's,
The guy shot so strong throughout this final match.
For sure. And he was either the 8 or 9 seed, so that means he had to come through opponents, so great shooting.
Come away with 2 medals right off the hop is, I mean, that says something about the program they're putting together.
Yep. So again, just like we've talked about other Asian countries, they came prepared. They may not have a lot of experience in these tournaments, but I'm sure they practiced and prepared for this. You see the crowd.
Well, you would wonder if they
starting to put layers back on.
if they'd gone to their own area with the ski jumps.
They very well might have. So.
What was that, Osaka? Or no, I'm wrong. It was they just had the Winter Olympics there a few years ago.
Sochi.
Anyway, Sochi, yeah. Thank you. I completely boffed that one, but that's all right.
Great. So again, we pan through the crowd as we get ready for the podium ceremony for the men's recurve. Again, senior category. So again, all those archers we saw this morning, most likely we're going to see them in the future in this afternoon session. They're getting a chance to shoot on the same field as a lot of their archery idols.
And that's always really cool to get some advice and to shoot on that same patch of grass, right?
Oh, for sure. I definitely missed out on that. I wasn't an archer till I was 28 years old, so I missed out on the junior stuff. But that's one thing I love about the sport is you see young and old, and everybody's helping one another, and it's just great to see these juniors get the opportunity to shoot, like I said, side by side with their idols. Not many other sports do you get that opportunity. I grew up a swimmer, and you know, it wasn't like you were swimming in a lane next to an Olympian on an everyday basis.
No. The quality of archery is just getting better by the day.
We see Brady with his signature hat stepping up there. Brady, the bronze medal in a hard-fought battle against J.C. Veldon from France.
And that was a good battle.
Some cute hair there, Brady. And silver medal for Italy. Again, on this podium, we've seen them almost in every single category. They've had someone on the podium. I know they're going to be a little disappointed not to hear their national anthem again, but well deserved for Japan, their first world field title.
Well, and somebody that has had to work their way all the way through the competitors. It's a hard-fought battle. It makes you really, really love that medal.
And the coveted Longines Prize watch, which is awarded to all the senior winners in each category. hit indoor, outdoor, and field world championships.
Just a beautiful memento.
Yes, definitely. Again, that was your men's recurve podium. See walking off. Next up will be the women's compound bronze and gold medal matches.
Well, we've seen some incredible matches so far. I can't wait to see what we're going to have in store for us with the compounds.
And interestingly enough, the women's compound was one of the few divisions where the 1 and 2 seed managed to win their semifinal match to make it to the gold medal match against one another. And in the bronze medal match, we see last world field champion from Dublin shooting off in the bronze medal match. So definitely going to be some great shooting by these women coming up.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you've seen Toya just dominate the field tournaments this year in the Pro Series all across Europe. I mean, she's been a fantastic archer. So it'll be interesting to see what her and Paige have in store for the gold medal match, because Paige is no slouch.
No.
That girl can shoot.
No, in the U.S. she wins every field tournament, holds every record multiple times. So again, that's going to be great. But this bronze medal match should be pretty good. We see Germany on the left. She's shot very well all week. And again, we have the reigning world field champion on the right-hand side.
Be interesting to see how the compounds fare on this course compared to the bare bows and the recurves, because I mean it's just different equipment. We've got the sight levels and everything else now. We've got magnification.
So we should see a lot less left and right issues with the bubbles, but as we've seen, anything can happen. So again, Germany on the left and Francini from Italy on the right.
And still basically no wind to contend with. The sun seems to be staying behind the clouds right now, so we should see some really good scores come out of these two women.
And again, Germany was out here last night shooting in the team match. I can't remember who was the Italian archer, but I don't think Francini was the compound.
And we have the same coach for Germany again.
Yep, so again, out there, experienced. We see the judge give the okay. The 2-minute clock has started. So let's see. Again, a lot of compounders have been shooting a little low on this target first arrow. See both of them very intense with their eyes focused. First to shoot is Irene. Solid, both fives. both of them a little low, just like we've seen by a lot of compounders on this first target. So see if they make adjustment.
A little bit of adjustment by each archer, but still great opening shots.
And that's just off the 6 left. That's a high 5. So match and arrow for arrow so far in this match. I think so far the junior compound woman has been the one to shoot the highest on this. She cleaned this first target against the Italian archer shooting against Cassidy Cox.
Looks like
and
a
another
triple 5.
So that's going to be a little disappointing, I think, for her opening with 15 on this.
That should be a 6, it is.
So 1 point lead for Germany. And with both of them opening with 5s, I'm a little surprised that there was only 1 6 shot in this match on that target.
Yeah, it was a little surprising. You'd think that we'd be seeing a couple more 6s, but first target, a little bit of nerves maybe.
Watching some of the matches through the shoot-ups, I did notice Irene had really good targets, and then there was a couple targets she struggled with. So it's going to be interesting to see in this finals venue if she has those same targets kind of give her trouble, or if she's got it figured out.
And the score stands, we have 16 to 15 on this first target. I was actually pretty impressed with the way their system is to hold up their butts. It seemed to be very well articulating, so you can go in any kind of direction, any type of pitch,
Yeah.
and not have a whole big system to cart around.
Yeah. So I did hear it took 12 hours to get those targets set up at the top of this field.
Oh, of that I have no doubt. A few winches and pulleys. And
It was not an easy feat for those setting up this beautiful course that the finals venue is being shot on. So again, the girls go to stake.
well, they set up an amazing venue here. It's one of the most impressive that I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't heard one complaint by any archer about this finals venue.
Well, I bet the only complaint we had was just that the one set of bunnies was mislabeled, but I mean,
That was quickly corrected.
it was.
So quick first shot.
Her face did not look happy, but
4. Oh, for both
For
of
both,
them.
yeah.
Wow. A little surprised by that. Again, we see the junior compound women seem to be showing up their senior counterparts at this point. So, but again, we see there's definitely junior shooters on the compound side that are World Cup senior World Cup team members for their country, just choosing to shoot junior here. And another 4 to the left. Wow.
and a solid 5 for Irene.
See if Carolyn can make an adjustment to the right. On
She
this
seems
next
to
air.
be holding on the left and trying to give it just a
Yeah.
little on the inside.
So all tied up heading into this last arrow. That looked like a good shot. Irene. Yes, that was a 6, and we have a 5-star, so 5-6 aligner. So we're either tied or Francini has gained a point advantage, depending on what Germany's last arrow is called, 5 or a 6. See the judge pointing down to the coach to pick up the bow. Again, in a finals venue, there's no time for equipment breakdowns. You must shoot your 3 arrows in the 2 minutes given, no matter what happens. So if you have a problem, you just have to pick up another bow or make an adjustment and keep shooting, or you will receive a miss for any unshot arrows.
We're definitely having some words of advice and encouragement from Germany here, so we'll see if that translates into anything on the bunnies.
Yep, taking their time, walking over. She's making sure sight's set correctly. Nothing worse as a compound archer than stepping up to a bunny and missetting your sight.
Heartbreaking.
Definitely. So let's see. Again, compounders at 15 meters, it's going to be a lot easier to hold than the recurve and barebow. So we should expect to see.
We should see some 17s at least.
We should. So The only thing that would change that would be some nerves, but both of these ladies are very capable of shooting 18s at this target. So, and Irene is a very good indoor shooter, so that gives her slight advantage, I would say, on this target. But again, anything can happen. So let's watch.
Strong six to start.
To open up. Again, not unexpected with the compound archer on this 15-meter bunny target. And another 6 for her, so both of them have started out a little low. I know when I was out there coaching Cassidy Cox, she also had too low. Her first arrows on this were a little low. And that
Great
much
second
more
arrow.
centered. Yep. So she adjusted a little, gave it a couple clicks. Oh,
A
and
high
a
four.
4. So that, I think, is going to be costly.
That was a little surprising.
Yeah. She's going to lose points, I think, on this target.
Well, let's just see if she can keep her nerves under check.
I think this was the target she struggled on in the matches.
Big letdown
I
from
think she
Caroline
had an
there.
uncharacteristic 2. Oh, and there's another one.
I mean, that's a 2-liner.
Yeah. And as I said, I believe that happened in her either her semifinal match or the previous match. She had shot a 2 on the bunny target. So, I don't know. Again, she's a very good indoor shooter, so I'm a little surprised by that. And
Great
solid
target by
6.
Carolyn.
18 for her. That's what you expect by a compound archer on this target. So,
That's a 5-point lead going into that last one.
and that was huge.
And I mean, this is the first time we're going to see the seniors up into this this last target. So
And again, Germany shot this target last night. I don't think Irene shot it. I think it was one of her teammates shot in the team match. But again, she's had plenty of teammates out there. I'm sure they've given her advice on what to set her sight for. So this first arrow is going to be crucial. But definitely 5-point lead for Germany. Again, having already been out there, I think it's definitely in her favor. I'd be feeling pretty good right now heading into this target.
oh, absolutely, she's got to feel confident after triple sixes on the bunnies.
Definitely. We see
And she's
Irene
still-
talking to her coach. She's shaking her head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially as a right-handed archer, to miss it that far right is uncommon.
Yep. So something's going on for her. I don't know what, but again, I saw this previously in the elimination matches. So she's definitely struggling with something. I don't know what's going on, but see her coach talking to her. See if she can get her head back in the game here. If she can put a 6 in for her first arrow,
Well,
could be a
it'll
game
be
changer.
interesting to see who does what here on the first arrow and how fast they put it in.
Yep.
Does Carolyn step up and drill one right in the center just to put the extra pressure on? Does Irene try to do it?
Yep. We will find out.
'Cause, I mean, the Japanese archer, I think that was the key for his match, is he stepped up and he fired his arrow fast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he put all kinds of pressure on it.
Yep. He was confident. He didn't hesitate, and that paid off. See the camera guy pulling out his.
Looks like it's a live feed.
So we got big cameras, small cameras. We got them all out there.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see my data plan when I get home. Our hotel didn't have the best Wi-Fi.
Oh. See, both of these archers drawing back from the target. Saw some of the juniors starting level and raising the bow.
I prefer to start at the target myself.
I do too. So both of them a left 4.
I mean, great height by both. So I mean,
Yep.
they had the cut right.
Yep.
It was just
So again, a huge advantage to Germany right here. She has the lead. They both shot a 4. She's got to feel good going into these last 2 arrows. That really she just has to be smart and not do anything stupid.
well. The nice thing too is they don't have that sun in their eyes that we've seen as
Yes.
well. So
And
Right
touching her
beside.
other arrow, she didn't adjust, didn't compensate for that left first. Ooh, and we
just
but
under.
4, solid 4. That's all she needs.
Yeah.
Again, 5-point lead, 1 arrow to go. So realistically, she just needs to hit paper.
She wants that 6.
Oh, I know. She wants bragging rights with her teammates.
Absolutely.
That's a solid 5.
That's a great last
So-
shot.
1 to win. Just like I said, hitting paper wins her the match.
She's got a little bobble going on. She's a little
got
nervous.
some nerves. And solid 3, that's all she needed. You see her.
That's a look of relief right
Yep.
there.
We've all been there. Just, you're thinking to yourself, just don't do something stupid. Just
Yeah.
fire this arrow, get it off cleanly, and that's all she needed to do, and that's what she did for a 3-point win. Bronze medal for Germany.
Well, it really happened at the bunnies. That was the killer for the Italian.
For sure. So this might be one of the first, if not the first, category that we've not seen Italy on the podium.
I believe so, yeah. They've shot so good. I mean, they really put a great home team together for this world field.
Definitely. And Franchini's going to be a little upset. Again, I don't know what's going on with her on the bunny target, but hopefully she can get that figured out, because she was the reigning world champion from Dublin. So hopefully in 2 years she'll come back strong and ready for payback after this 4th place finish. And that leads us into our gold medal final with the 1 versus the 2 ranked archers. We have Toya Ellison and Paige Pierce.
This is really
Both of
this
them
is
shooting.
a high power.
Yeah, and they both
event
shot
here.
identical scores in the semifinals match. And both of these archers have faced off against each other quite a bit in normal target archery, with Toya being married to Brady. She shoots a lot of the U.S. tournaments, so she and Paige have seen each other a lot. We see the fans in the crowd there ready to cheer them on, and
And I mean,
Toya definitely has more of the steep angle experience, I would say, shooting the Pro Series. Paige has never shot the Pro Series in Europe. However, Paige is a very strong competitor, great field shooter, like I said, in the U.S. And so she's not going to go out without a fight.
no, I think this one is going to be a great battle. I think you're going to see some really strong archery out of both these girls.
And I don't think the last target for them is going to be the game changer. I think one of these middle range targets is going to be the one that makes the difference.
I think we're going to see a little back and forth, 1 point between, and swap back and forth a little bit. But I think it will come down to the last target, just because it'll be within a point.
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be a game-changing target.
No, I don't think so. I think you're going to see a lot of yellow smashing out of these two girls.
I expect a good bunny from both of them.
Yeah.
So I think these first 2 targets are going to be key. And one of them gain an advantage on these first 2.
That's going to be the crucial one, is really the first target.
Gold medal match. We saw this first target, it was an 18 versus a 17. So they came out swinging, the junior girls. So can the senior women match that?
I mean, you can't say enough about the juniors that have been shooting here.
No.
They're incredible shooters.
No, and again, a lot of them are World Cup team members. Cassidy Cox has represented the U.S. on the senior level, but chose to shoot junior for this event.
Neither one of these two are taking any extra time. They're
No,
already
Paige
into
gets
it.
that off. Solid 6 for Paige and a 5-liner. It's a 5, but on the 4 line for Toya. So Paige steps up. You see her grabbing her bow to get ready for another arrow. Deep breath.
I think Paige is going to really shoot fast and try to
Yes.
put some pressure on.
I agree. She's going to want to put the pressure on Toya. She isn't going to want to give her an
Another
opening.
6.
Another 6, solid. And Toya answers with a 6. She's not
Great
backing
answer.
down.
I don't think either one of these girls are going to back down. I think it's
No.
going to be an absolute battle throughout this.
I agree.
And I think this is going to be one of your best matches.
Yes. Again, we see Paige drawing back first, coming into anchor. But Toya not far behind her. Gets the shot off first.
Paige is still pulling through on that release.
Nope. Smart decision she made there.
She's been having a little bit of issue with that release.
She's actually had pretty much entire equipment issues this field championship. Her arrows were breaking on the back end. She
I
actually
remember we were cutting them the other day with the knife.
Yeah,
and,
she was down to 3 arrows of full length, cut the rest of her arrows, and adjusted her sight marks all over again for the shorter arrows. And that,
Looks
I think,
to be a
caught.
triple
I'm
6.
pretty sure that's an 18,
They're
which would give her
calling
a
it an
2-point. Yeah. And again, we see Rod Menzer behind Paige. A lot of experience and just out there with Brady.
If I was on that field, that's the guy I'd want behind me for sure.
Definitely.
Just a wealth of knowledge that he can give to Paige.
And we see Toya with a very serious look on her face heading into that second target. She knows that she can't afford to give Paige any more room. 2 points already, and so she's going to be determined to shoot an 18 on this.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure. Paige is a little bit more relaxed. Her body language, you see, talking with Rod, deciding on the cut. But Toya's very focused. She knows she has a job to do, and she's not going to let up.
I think Paige is going to step up and try and drill her first arrow.
Agree.
Just before Toya.
I agree. She's going to want to put that pressure on her.
Actually, Toya's third shot went really quick. She wanted to beat Paige into the 6.
Yep. And might have fired a little fast.
I think so. Still no wind to speak of, so that won't be an issue. I don't think we're going to see any real wind issues today.
Nope.
And we didn't see any rain issues like we had in Dublin for the teams.
No, that was not fun.
That was some pretty awful weather.
Yeah. No, we had one really bad downpour on Mark Day, but it only lasted, for me, it was about 4 targets. I heard some people it was only about 2 targets. But that's really all the
We got
real bad
extremely
weather.
lucky, and
Yes.
we ended up at a tent right when it started.
Oh, I hate you.
I know you do.
I had to shoot the 2 hardest targets on the marked day in that pouring rain.
Toya.
So she got her arrow off first, but Paige's is a nice 6 there.
And she's a 5-liner again.
Yeah, yep, so
And still on the left.
Toya's not happy about that. You see her looking back at her coach. See, I expect her to shoot this one pretty quick now. Usually when Toya gets angry, shots fire a little bit faster. So let's see if she can settle in.
I think Paige is just really comfortable right now.
Yeah. Ooh,
And that's a high 4.
That's a high 4. Uncharacteristic. The Paige took a long time.
Good girl.
She lets that down. 58 seconds on the clock.
Still plenty of time.
So plenty of time. Again, both of these girls are used to target events with 20 seconds on the clock to shoot in a finals match. So Paige is going to draw back with 45 seconds, so more than enough time for 2 arrows. And that's another 6. So she's really putting the pressure on Toya
She's
here.
got plenty of time. She's got 30 seconds. Toya is not looking comfortable.
No.
She really looks uncomfortable
It's
right
very
now.
uncharacteristic in a field course to see Toya look the way she looks. Usually she looks very calm, looks second nature to her because she grew up shooting field.
We've got 17 seconds left. Plenty of time for Paige.
That looks solid.
Just
below.
under for a 5.
So she'll be happy with that target. 17.
Great target.
So she's down 1 point through 2 targets, whereas Toya could have a 12 on that target or as high as a 14. But either way, she's not going to be happy even if it upgrades to a 14, which
it upgrades to a
13. She got one of the 2.
Paige has 4 on her, and you do not want to give Paige 4 points.
No, definitely not. Paige gets stronger as the match goes on. We always joke every time I used to shoot against her in compound, she would always finish with a 30 against me. It didn't matter how she was winning, losing the match, she always closed with a 30 against me. So she is not one you want to give any room leading into that last target.
Not at all, and it looks like she's just picking up steam.
Definitely, that's what she does. That's Paige. And her score was a little low on unmarked day, and really I attribute that to her equipment issues. She really had a lot going on, a lot she was fixing. She got it squared away by mark day, most of it, and fine-tuned it for the elimination in the semifinal match.
But I mean, that just really speaks to the level of archer that she is.
Oh, for
to
sure.
be able to battle through that.
Yeah, and she still was seated well after the first day. She wasn't in second, but she was, I believe, top 5. Now Toya gets up fast shot again for a
5-liner.
Really surprised by that. And Paige shoots a 6.
Looks like a solid upper 6.
They're calling it a 5-star, so we'll have to wait.
From our seats, it looks pretty well in, but we're just looking at a TV screen.
Same thing you're seeing at home.
But Toya definitely, she jumped up on that target first. She wanted to put some pressure on.
She wanted to put that 6 down. Now we see her settle in. That shot looked a little bit better than some of her others have been.
They're
And
calling it
that's
a 6.
So, yep.
And looks like Paige drilled another 6.
I think also has a 6. So as you see, Toya took a little bit more time. She looked more relaxed and put one right in the middle. So let's see this last arrow. She can do the same thing. Nice and relaxed. And put that in the 6 ring.
That looked like
which
a much better
I
shot.
think she does. Yeah. So those last 2 shots looked much more like the characteristic Toya shot that I'm used to seeing.
Well, very much so. She was strong and confident on those ones. The last few shots before that, she looked uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I wonder if she really was trying to rush to get things off before Paige and if that cost her.
Well, Paige is down to 30. I mean, she's got plenty of time for this last arrow.
Yeah, that's like an hour. Paige is a fast shooter. She and I were definitely some of the faster shots on the compound side when I used to shoot there compared to some of the other women, so not worried about her getting this off with 13 seconds left on the clock.
That's an age as far as Paige is concerned.
She is shaking a little, but
Looks like just under.
But she'll be happy with that.
Oh, absolutely.
She'll take the 16, even though she gives a point back.
She'll give 1 point back, but I think she's going to catch that liner at the top.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. If she does get that top arrow, then she gives nothing back, and she's going to keep her lead going into that last target. And we see Toya still discussing stuff with her coach.
I mean, 6 points going into that last target
would be huge.
Monstrous.
Huge. Oh, for these 2 archers at their level.
Yeah. You can't
and
give
it
one.
was upgraded, so they tied that target. So 52 to 46. We have a 6 point, and you see her mark card. So Paige is one of those archers that does not use a sight tape. She uses the mark numbers. She feels like she can be a little bit more precise with that.
Yeah.
And we're going to see if she dials that number correctly.
Well, the problem with the sight tape is you can get a little bit of slip,
Exactly.
especially in the rain. The marks are the marks. Sometimes they can be a little harder to read, and you can misdial a little bit.
It really comes down to personal preference.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
what makes you feel confident, because confidence is the game in this, as we've seen. So 60 meters, uphill target.
I mean, you're looking at least a 4-meter cut on this, if not more. I mean, it's not an easy target.
No. And Toya definitely has the experience at these kind of angles from shooting the Pro Series. So she has a slight advantage here, but Paige is no slouch when it comes to field target.
And Paige is away first.
So she's got a 4.
And they're both 4s.
Toya, I don't think caught the 5, but they're calling it a 4-star, so it may. But either way, that's only a 1-point swing if she gets it. And Paige had a solid lead going into this, so Paige just needs to match Toya on this target.
You hear a lot of encouragement for Paige in the background.
Yeah. That's a 5.
Better 5 by Toya.
Paige is still pulling. She lets
Atta
down.
girl. It's almost stressful just watching this.
Oh, I tell you, I think coaching, standing behind an archer in these stressful situations is way worse than shooting the match. I get way more nervous, my heart rate pounding, where when I'm shooting, I feel in control and I know what I'm doing. So I feel for Rod in the situation right now, standing behind Paige, knowing she just needs to put up some good shots.
And
that's
Paige is another 4.
But that's so
And
that's
looks
a
like another 4 for Toya.
So Paige really just needs
a
to hit
1.
paper here. Just paper wins her the match. Just nothing
Calm and
stupid.
easy. Calm and easy.
And this is where, as a trigger shooter, you don't try to over-aim. You don't try to hit a 6.
Yeah.
You just get that arrow off.
Shaking a little bit, but
Yep, that's all she needed. Great
should have
group.
been a 4. Yep.
And if you notice,
Well done, Paige.
her arrows were actually about a 6-ring size group, just high and left.
Yeah.
And Paige is your new world field champion for the women's compound. And Toya, good shooting all week. She earns the silver medal for Slovenia.
I mean, Paige really, she shot the U.S. trials really well. She put up some great numbers there.
Oh, yeah.
And she's put up good numbers all week.
Yep.
She was her Her characteristic, not really ready for the shoot.
That's kind of Paige. Anyone who knows Paige knows that she usually shows up to tournaments a little less prepared than some of the other archers, but she is just a phenomenal archer that she can make up for it with talent, and she doesn't need her equipment to be performing perfectly to shoot well, to shoot high scores.
I almost think that's how she deals with the stress of the situation. By having to tinker and having to do stuff, it takes your mind off of
to think about. Yep.
that one thing.
Yep.
But fantastic shooting by Paige. I mean,
that was,
really uncharacteristic for Toya. Not sure what was going on there.
But what I will say is that second target, I had a feeling one of those first two targets was going to be the difference in the match, and it really was that second target where she looked uncomfortable, just got shots off a little quicker than usual, just didn't look quite as calm as we're used to seeing. And that second target really was the momentum swing. She was never able to make up any ground on.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, at this level, one bad target sinks you.
Yeah. Yep. So Paige is going to be very happy with that. She has quite a few junior world titles and some team titles, but this will be her, I believe, her first world field title. So kind of a fun fact here is the compound U.S. men's have held the world field title for I don't know how many straight years, and our women have not. And this will be the first year we don't have a man competing for gold, so we can't win the title. But yet Paige was able to bring it home for the women, so that's a great feeling.
And she brought it home in style too.
She did, beating a great field archer in Toya Ellison.
Be very proud of your teammate because she shot very, very well.
Oh, I definitely am. I miss competing against Paige. She's a great competitor, and it's always fun to shoot against people that are that tough all around.
I mean, my wife and I we had lunch with Paige and Heather the other day, and I mean it's always fun sitting down and talking to her. She's so much fun.
Yep. Never a dull moment when Paige is around.
Oh, absolutely not.
So we see the women walking out for their podium. See some smiles, some disappointment. I know how that second place feels at a World Championships all too well. I know what Toya's feeling right now.
I hope to
It
feel
hurts.
that one day, maybe.
Been there twice, and it's tough. Everyone tells you to be happy for that silver medal, but when you knew you had that gold in your grasp and you knew you were shooting well enough to win, it's hard.
I think you'll see Toya come back extremely strong from this.
Oh, for sure. And it's going to be in Yankton, the next one, which in a way is semi-home field advantage for her living in the U.S. now, married to Brady. So
it'll be very interesting to see what they do with that course, because I know there's a couple older field courses around there.
I'm hoping, from what I've heard, that there were some decent courses, because we shot Yankton a couple years ago for our nationals, and
it was pretty flat.
It was pretty flat and dry and not very exciting for a field course. It was actually my first ever field course. It was our trials for Dublin, actually. So
did they not build a big platform for that one to try and get some elevation?
Yeah, but
that's what I thought I remembered.
Not any scenery like we're seeing here.
No. But I mean, they shot the NFAA National Field Championships there last year as well.
Yes.
And I mean, there was not a lot of really tough elevation or changes.
No angles. You really had to deal with side hills, anything like that.
So I'm hoping
they
that Bruce has something up his sleeve.
He has to, because it's not world caliber at this point. But I have faith. They do a good job of, I mean, they added on for indoor, almost doubled the building size to bring the indoor world championships there this winter. So I believe that they're going to do something to make that a quality course for a world championship.
Well, they have incredible facilities there, so hopefully they'll...
and great community support. The
community
absolutely really stands behind archery in that area. And with that, we're going to stand for the national anthem of the United States of America. first time I've ever seen a foreign competitor singing along to the words of another national anthem. So great to see Toya supporting her second home country. Paige earns her watch. Again, we have Germany taking the bronze, Slovenia earning the silver, and Team USA winning the gold.
I mean, both matches were extremely hard fought.
Yeah,
Just one or two targets, just a little slip, and that's all you need.
definitely. So great shooting by all three of those women. And with that, we're going to head to the final category of the day. We have the men's compound. We're going to start with the bronze medal final.
Which we thought, honestly, would have been the gold medal match.
A lot of people did.
Because, I mean, Steve's been shooting so good this year. Dom has been shooting so good this year.
And Steve's the reigning world field champion from Dublin. Again, kept that U.S. streak alive. And Dami, has had a great season, especially in the field side of things. Representing Croatia, they have some beautiful field courses, I'm told.
Well, he shot so well on the Pro Series this year and last year. I mean, he struggled a little bit lately just with that broken hand.
Yeah, that makes it tough.
And that actually gave him a few time warnings this weekend as well.
Really?
Yeah.
What I will say, I saw a statistic that he was the only archer on the entire field to not shoot an arrow, a single arrow out of the yellow the entire qualification round, both marked and unmarked day. That to me just
unreal.
blew my mind. That means he didn't misjudge within, more than a yard maybe. That means he was
He
dead
would have
on.
been within a meter the whole time.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's amazing.
And then you take Mark Day, where we bumped the targets out an extra 5 meters, and he still was able to hold it. And through 2 days with those conditions, slogging through the woods, you're going to make a couple bad shots.
Yep.
It's a given. You're not shooting a perfect arrow every time. And so for him to hold gold all through that is just super impressive to me.
Well, I mean, I talked to Dom about it, and he was of the opinion, you know what, I'll take the time fault.
Mm-hmm.
My hand hurts. I'm going to take the time fault. I don't care. I'm going to make a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's a fantastic attitude to have.
Yeah.
And he took the time. He made the shots.
And a lot of the top archers, I know Brady was given a couple warnings as well on the first day.
We got timed a lot this year, and it was very surprising because there was no holdups.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I don't understand why.
Yep. We were walking quickly to all the targets. The only time we had a hold up for us the recurve side was on the mark day. One of the junior recurvers had an equipment failure, and instead of letting people shoot through, we had to sit and wait, and there ended up with about a 3-target backup on one target right before the rain, of course. But as soon as that equipment failure happened and they started shooting again, we were moving through and really didn't have to ever wait. So yeah, great job by the organizers setting up the course and keeping things moving. So let's see.
Well, they definitely set up some incredibly challenging courses.
Oh yeah, but beautiful.
Dom is first away
He gets his shot off
with a
pretty
sweet
quick.
6.
Drills a 6.
Steve with a 6-liner.
And interesting, Steve last night in the team round shot this a low 4 his first arrow, which I was really surprised about. And we see he's still low. It's a 6, so he did compensate from last night, but still on the low side.
Already into a second arrow.
So.
I think Steve's going to want to put the pressure on him.
Oh, for sure. And that's what he wanted.
I mean, that's comfortable Steve. He's got that little swagger to him.
Yep.
He looks comfortable right now.
I would not be surprised to see some multiple 18s shot throughout this finals match with these two.
Looks like a solid 6.
Looks like a 6 to me. Both of these archers are capable of shooting 18s on any of these targets.
And they've got a mountain of time at 52 seconds.
Yeah, and again, both of these archers used to finals venues with 20 seconds, so Steve's going to be happy to come off the line first with that 18, puts the pressure on Dami.
Steve looks incredibly comfortable right now.
Oh, like you said, he has the Steve swagger.
Yeah.
When he has that...
When he's shooting good, he's got that little swagger,
Exactly.
and he comes off the line, and he looks, yep,
When he doesn't have that, you know it's a rough day.
yep.
And, ooh, it looks like that
Looks
was
like a foul.
just off.
Yep.
Just off. And look who's in the coach's box again for Steve. We have Rod out there for his third match. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Both matches he has won with his archer. So great choice for Steve to put him out there. Again, Rod was the first compound man in that streak. He started the streak of world field titles for compound men from the U.S., and Steve would have been the last in that streak. So as Rod said the other day, it may be time for him to dust off his bow and start another streak in Yankton.
You know what? A shot near Rod at the trials this year, I mean, he can still shoot a bow.
Oh, no doubt. He doesn't have time to practice with being CEO now of USA Archery, but even without practice, he's no slouch.
Absolutely not.
And the experience he has with field, he knows how to do the cuts. He knows how to hold the bow. He knows the little tricks that make the difference at this top level.
But I think the big difference, too, is he's been there.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's a different relationship with archer and coach. But if you've got someone that's been there, that knows what you're going through, I think that's heads and tails above anything else anybody can tell you.
Definitely.
Because they know about the nerves. They know about everything.
Yep.
It's a solid head behind you.
Yep. And a lot of times if it's an ex-archer, they know you as a friend, too, and a little different than some of the coaches might, and they know what to say or not to say to you during this match. And sometimes that's crucial as a coach, is just knowing the right thing to avoid or the right thing to say. So we see both of them draw back pretty quick on this. They're going to both want to get that first arrow off, I think.
And like a lot of Europeans, Dom is really close together with his feet.
Oof. And he shoots a low 4, so...
And Steve pretty much right on the cross.
Yeah. He drilled it, and I believe he shot well on this target last night with his arrow, so...
He gave his sight just one click. I mean,
Yeah.
just a confidence click.
Exactly. But he's feeling good right now. That's another 2 points on the first arrow, so he's going to be in cruise control these next 2 arrows.
Little high
A
five.
little high, so maybe it didn't need that click.
Looked like he just clicked windage.
That's the middle. Can't
Great
really
shot
get
by
much
Dom.
more center than that, so that's a good comeback for him.
But to give Steve 3 points is not a good idea.
No. So Steve's going to want a 6 here. He's going to want to put the pressure.
He's bouncing around a little bit, but
Yep, he lets that down. Now, surprising, we didn't see Ivana Budin this week. I know she wasn't able to make this tournament, had some kind of illness, and it's really disappointing to see because just like her brother, she's a very strong field shooter and typically up there with those top women on these field courses. So she was definitely missed in the field this week on the compound women's side. And Steve shoots a nice quick shot, but it's actually a 5.
it looks like Dom's last one was a 5 as well.
So they matched their last arrow, which gives Steve another point. So he now has a 2-point lead halfway through this match. I think this bunny is going to be crucial for them. I really think that's going to be the make or break target.
Well, they're definitely going to be going for 18s on this
Yeah.
one.
Whoever can 18 this target
Yeah.
has the advantage. And they're both more than capable of it. Again, the bunny target is 15 meters on a 20 centimeter face, which is the same size face as they shoot indoors. So these guys are used to shooting 10 after 10 after 10 on that indoor face, so they can do this in their sleep. But with the nerves in a finals match, can they shoot that 18?
That's always the big question. I mean, you see so many people that are so afraid of the bunny target that they start pulling out 23 series arrows. And, I mean, you're allowed to.
But why?
I mean, middle is middle.
Yep, exactly.
So these guys aren't changing arrows. They're hitting the middle.
Nope. They don't need to. That's a big 6 ring on this target for them with a compound at 15 meters.
I mean, you march them back to 20, it gets a little dicier.
Yep.
But at 20,
little tougher to
at
aim.
20, you're still 17s.
Yes. Yep. All day. So quick first shot, and I think that's off the 6.
Looks like it's a
I
5.
think that's a 5. So can Steve capitalize and shoot an 18 here? And he also
5-liner.
So interesting, looking in his I believe it was his semifinals match. This was the target I think Steve struggled on the most. So he did not shoot great on the bunny target.
He's into his second arrow just before Dom.
So they both have 5, so that keeps a 2-point lead with Steve.
Steve's got a little stress on him, but he drills a 6.
Looks like it caught the 6, and looks like Dom's just off the 6 again, so a little bit left.
Asterisks on there.
Saw some choice words come out of his mouth right there.
I couldn't hear him.
He was not happy with that, so we'll see if he's able to fix for the third arrow, but he knows he gave a point away to Steve there that wasn't necessary. He was hoping to gain a point back.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is the target you want to make ground up on. You want to stay in the 6 ring on this one for sure.
Yeah, neither archer is going to have a perfect 18 here, so that's a little shocking for men's compound to not see either archer come out. And he lets down, so we have both of them, 1 arrow left.
And that's at 26 seconds.
So both of them getting a little nervous, I think, on that final arrow. Probably seeing a little bit more movement than they would like to see in their scope, and just taking a breath and starting over.
Yeah, we've got about 15 seconds.
Steve gets that off nice and quick that time. Solid 6.
Down to 10 seconds.
And he also has a 6. So that gives another 1 point to Steve. So Steve now has a 3-point lead.
Potentially 3-point. We're still waiting to hear from the asterisks,
That's correct.
but I mean, you don't want to give him anything.
No. So heading into the last target, Steve struggled on this a little bit yesterday in the team match, but again, he only had 1 arrow, no time to correct. I know he made a correction. He talked to some teammates. We have had his teammate, junior man, shot the first 6 last night.
And it is downgraded to a 5, so Steve has 3 points going into the last arrow, or the last target,
So
sorry.
I'm sure Steve talked overnight to Connor, who shot the first 6 on that target, and then today, Savannah, our compound junior woman, she shot a 17, I think the high score yet on this last target. So I'm sure he had a discussion with her, and
I mean,
pretty confident that he's going to have a good first arrow.
Savannah really powered her way
Oh.
through those elimination matches.
She really, up until that she had a hiccup in the semifinal. That tough semifinal match. It would have been great to see 2 Americans, but she definitely laid it down on this last target and showed everyone what she was capable of.
Dom is first to fire off with
Solid
just
5.
off the 6.
Perfect height, so he judged that correctly. He had the number. And
Steve shoots it
Steve's
for a 4.
Low 4.
So there's 1 point there.
So he's got 1 point back with 2 arrows to go. And you see Steve a little upset with that, but shaking it off. So key for Steve is, can he keep his head in this? He doesn't need to do anything crazy. He just needs to make a good shot. He has a 2-point lead with 2 arrows to go. Now Dom really wants a 6 here. He needs to put that pressure on Steve.
Now he wants that 6 to land before Steve's.
Yes. Looked like the follow through was
Looks
a
like
little.
a 5.
Yeah. Steve
Just
is
off
also
for a 5.
So they match each other, so that's a
2
2-point
points.
swing. So really, he's shaking his head. He knows even if he puts a 6, if Steve puts a 5, he wins. So really, Steve just needs to hang yellow.
And Steve is quick
and he
up.
jumps up because he knows he just needs a yellow.
I mean, that's such a powerful position to be in on your last arrow.
Oh, for sure. We see a little shake there, but
Drills the 6.
puts it in the 6th ring, and that's the way he wants to finish.
And Dom takes a 5 again.
So triple 5, 3-point lead for Steve. And it looked like, I think it was that second target again. So
Yep,
the same
it was
as the
that second
compound
target.
women.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I mean, Dom's a little upset.
Yeah.
Steve, I know, is really upset because he wanted
to win again. Exactly. He wanted to maintain that for Team USA. He wanted it personally. He felt like he was shooting well enough. He was prepared. But so this bronze medal, it means, just like Brady, it means a lot to him. And
Oh, absolutely.
we see the rally cap going on backwards. He's feeling good right now.
But I mean, it was really that first target. You had that traditional Steve swagger,
Yeah.
and he was comfortable. He got
Yes.
a little uncomfortable on the bunnies,
Yes. Yep.
but he really stayed strong through it. Dom,
He looked.
he looked a little uncomfortable.
He did. Yep.
But he's been shooting so strong. I think
And who knows how his wrist played into this? You know, is he having some pain? Is he having trouble holding steady on, with these steep angles? I don't know how that affects affects his wrist. He just broke that a couple weeks ago at the Pro Series. So really the fact that he was able to come back here and finish 4th with an injury like that.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, that's why he wasn't in Wales for the last Pro Series, is because he wanted to save that hand for this.
Yes.
The top. I mean, I think he shot the top unknown score.
Yes. Yep.
So he's going to be a little disappointed, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
With that, we're going to head into the gold medal final for the compound men, where we have world ranked #1 Mike Schlosser shooting against Nico from Austria.
I mean, Mike had to beat Dan Yaza from the States, and I mean, they had one of the highest scoring qualification or elimination matches around.
They only dropped 3 or 4 points.
I think it was 3.
They were matching arrow for arrow, and can I tell you, if you saw, I watched the entire match. The arrows they both missed, the 3 arrows, were liners. I'm talking judge call super close, the 5s that they did have. I mean, they were just, both of those archers were on fire, and it came down to the final target was a bunny target at 10. Of course, they both 18 that, and they moved them back for the shoot off to 15, and Mike just caught the 10, and Dan's was just out. I mean, it was a great match. And Mike has been dealing with food poisoning all week. He's been super sick. He's not been able to eat very well. And I don't know how you could walk those courses that we did and carry that bow that he has around, as heavy as that is, without proper nutrition. I mean, I just don't know how he's still here fighting in this gold medal match.
Well, I mean, good on him for fighting through it. I mean, I personally, I was pulling for Dan. I mean, I've gotten to know Dan a little bit. Just an amazing guy.
Dan's a great guy, and a lot of people on the world stage don't know him too well, but phenomenal shooter in the U.S. He's won quite a few events.
I mean, just second recently at the Buckeye.
Exactly.
I mean, the guy can shoot.
Oh, no doubt about that. And there was people that thought there was a good chance it could be him and Steve in the finals.
Oh, absolutely.
So we open up the first target. We'll see who can put the pressure on who. So 5 to a 6. So Mike.
And Mikey's just off the cross. I mean, his sights are on. He's going to feel comfortable. He's already into his second arrow.
On for a reason.
Series as well, so he's getting.
And he's come and shot those events and really learned how to shoot field, and came out. He didn't shoot Dublin, but came out for this and gold medal match.
And a 6.65 to
So
start.
drops
I mean,
a
that's
point.
a great start.
Definitely, when your opponent opens 5-5, you're in good shape. with
Especially
17.
as fast as he put him in there.
Yep. When Mike's shooting well, he gets his shots off quick. And
And
that's
a nice 6.
That's a 6. So 1 point. You see a smile on Mike. Hopefully he's feeling a little better. And we see in his box, we have Sander, who, again, very experienced field archer, knows what he's doing.
Just missed his shoot off to get into the next level.
Yep.
And I believe that that Swedish man that beat him went on to fight Dan.
Yes, correct. So he was a little disappointed. I know his last target of the match, he struggled a little and then had to have a shoot off on the same target. So that's never fun when you know you just had a rough target and they make you shoot off on that same exact target.
Yeah,
Definitely
he
not a
was
confidence
not a
booster.
happy man
No.
after that last shot.
But you can't blame him. I mean,
The big
a
surprise
frustrating-
for me actually was not to see Stefan Hansen here.
I agree. He did very well at his first World Field last time and taking out Dave Cousins in the semis. The past reigning World Field champion. And I don't know why he decided to stay home from this one.
Well, it could have been that it was his first one and he medaled. What more did he have to prove? I don't know.
So both open with 6s here.
Good first arrows by both guys.
Again, Stefan's been shooting the Pro Series stuff. He's been shooting a lot in the U.S., a lot of the field tournaments, so.
Possibly just burnt out. 2 6s for
Could
Mikey.
be.
And fast.
That
Nico looks like a 4. Yeah, they're calling it 4.
So he's off to the right on both of those arrows, and that one doesn't catch the 5. You see Dean laying down on the hill there, getting some quality photos for everyone. And
Looks like a 5.
That's a high 5.
But still 6-6-5 when your opponent's already got a 4.
If he can do that the whole match, 6-6-5, like he's done the first 2, he'll be fine. And that
And
looks like
another 4.
another 4. Wow, that's
4 asterisks, but
Pretty
from our vantage
surprising.
point, it's looking like a 4.
So do you think his bubble was off on those or what?
It's possible. I mean, a lot of times too, when the extreme angles start kicking in, you start leaning and you don't even realize it, and it's after you've checked your bubble and you're pulling through and you just ever so slightly tip and it's not even noticeable, but that arrow just goes.
Oh, I know that all too well. So those of you at home, Compound does have an advantage with the bubble, but there are times where the bubble doesn't save you from those left and rights if you're not paying attention all the way through that shot until it fires. So again, we see the archers getting their arrows back. So, as everyone knows, Mike's nickname, Mr. Perfect. He was the first person to ever shoot a perfect 600 on the indoor round. So this 15-meter bunny should be no pressure for him.
He's always got that just off-standard kind of style to him. Looks like he caught that 6. It looks like he got just a slight chicken wing on that back arm.
That's the Mike shot.
Yeah, but I mean, take nothing away from him. The guy pounds arrows.
Oh, and I was there when he shot that perfect 600. I was a couple targets over, and if you saw his last 3 arrows, it looked like he had no nerves. I've never seen someone just shoot so relaxed through those arrows. And that's a 6.
Looks like a 6. So Mikey's got, well, what looks to be a 6-6, but the one is in question so far.
So they're either tied on this target or Mike has a 1-point lead with 1 arrow left. Again, you see his belt there, Mr. Perfect. That's from the indoor round.
Well, my belt's big enough to put an entire paragraph around, but
And that's a solid 6. So another 17, maybe an 18 for Mike. So good target, and that's a 6 for Nico. So
better target for Nico. Much better target.
yeah, so he'll have a little bit of confidence built back up going into that last target.
It'll be interesting to see where his first arrow lands on that high target, because we saw he missed 2 to the right.
Yes. So, and he hasn't had a lot of teammates out here. I think maybe only 1 other Austrian shooter so far today. So was he able to get a good number to shoot this target? I'm pretty confident Mike's got a lot of friends. I'm sure someone shared their number with him, so he's going to feel pretty good going into this that his number's quality. But
And I mean, you saw Nico have to battle through quite a few matches to get to this point. So I mean, he's
got, when he's down, 5 points heading into this last target. That's a lot against Mike. Mike's not going to give you anything.
Mike's already jumping on that.
Yeah.
He's already on that button.
Mike just needs to hold yellow. Again, nothing fancy for him. He doesn't
just
need
wants to
6s.
needs to take off about 2 meters on that shot.
And a low 3, so he doesn't capitalize. Nico had the opportunity there. Mike gave him an opening, and his number, and also interesting, he was right again.
Yep.
So, as you pointed out, these uphill shots, Nico has been.
Nico might be the type of archer that needs to install a little bit of bias in that bubble.
And Mike's a left 4, so he's definitely leaving the door open. Oh, and
Great
there's a
6.
6. So that puts a little bit of pressure on Mike. So Mike has a 3-point.
Closes it to 3 points.
3-point lead.
Mike can't duff this shot. He's
No.
got to put it middle.
Mike needs a 4 or better here to guarantee the win.
Oh, he
and that
hammered
was a
that.
punch and a half, Mike. Oh, but
Mikey.
he knew, and he laughs, he knows. But all he needed was the 4 for the win. He knew.
Oh, that was
That was classic Mike style for anyone who's watched him. And
great
a solid
last shot.
5.
Great last shot.
Great target by Nico to finish 14 on that tough uphill. And Mike Schlosser is your world field champion. So that adds another title to Mike's impressive resume as world number 1. So I'm trying to think
one of the biggest
which ones.
punches I've seen for the last arrow.
And I'm trying to think now, which title might he be missing?
Reading champion.
Well, world champion.
World champion.
World titles. Is there any that he's missing? Or has he earned them all? I know indoors is a big thing.
Indoors, outdoors, field. Unless he starts shooting some 3D.
We will see. So.
Well, if he starts shooting 3D, he'll come to see me next year, because the World 3D Championships are 5 hours north of my house.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be in Lac La Biche, Alberta.
Okay. I don't know how he feels about judging yardage.
Not good, probably.
So again, men's compound, that was a great match. Finish up the gold medal match, the last match of the day. And we see even the best archers in the world don't necessarily have the best form.
I think that was just, it's there, hammer it.
Exactly. I don't want this to be a mistake. I'm going to make sure it goes off.
I'm going to make sure it's near a 5.
And he slammed it, but all he needed was that floor.
Kind of wish they didn't have a close-up of the thumb on that one.
So again, great view we saw of the 1956 Olympic ski jump. It's been our venue for the weekend for the finals venue. And we're going to finish up with the ceremony to receive their medals and Mike his watch. He's racked up a couple of these watches, World Cup finals.
Well, I mean, there'd be some great mementos to pass down eventually down the family tree.
Well, I know he told his coach when he won his second one, it would go to him. And so I remember when he handed his coach that second one that he earned, that was a big deal for him to be able to give that one away. Someone that meant so much to him and really helped shape his archery career. So
that's a really cool story.
So, again,
but, I mean,
Mike's a great
Mike
person.
too.
Yep. Great archer, but great person. Great competitor. Those are the type of people you like to see out there winning these events.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've seen a lot of different faces this year in the championship.
Yeah.
Especially in the medal ceremonies.
Definitely.
So it just tells you how things can change so rapidly throughout the week.
For Mike to battle through the sickness that he had, to really not be able to eat anything and barely be able to drink water, getting sick on the course, I mean, that shows you how impressive, just like Paige with her equipment issues, for them to come back and win a title, world champion, that really shows you what great archers these two are.
Just so impressive.
I think it's a good thing Steve's on that third step as tall as he is. Maybe Mike can level things out a little beyond on the top step.
Well, I think Steve could just stay down on the ground and still be taller probably. But
we'll find out.
What's he running, 6'13"?
And he's the shortest of his 3 brothers.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's the shortest of the 3 of them.
Oh, my Lord.
He has 2 older brothers. So that's Steve with the bronze. You can hear Rod yelling in the background. He's pretty pumped.
If it makes Steve happy, I'm the shortest in my family too, but that doesn't say a whole lot. I'm like 5'9" and 3/16.
So Steve will be happy about that. Disappointed he wasn't in the gold medal match, but he will be happy to get that bronze. And I think Nico was going to be happy with the silver. Losing to world number 1, fighting through those elimination matches to make this match, I think he's pretty happy about that silver.
I think having a really close experience like that just really drives you for the next one.
Definitely. No doubt about that.
And what about you? Are you going to try for another one?
We'll see.
I already put my name for it last night.
And Mike is your world field champion representing the Netherlands. Another gold medal placed around world number 1.
I mean, good for him. He shot so good to keep up with everybody, and then he won his elimination matches. I mean, he deserves to be there.
Yeah, and he was the number 3 seed, so he didn't get the automatic bye into that.
No, he had to fight his way in.
Exactly, so he had to win matches, and no one made it easy on him.
So what do you think makes an archer feel better? Having fought their way through? We'll pause here for the national anthem. just touching on that again, what do you think would make the victory sweeter too? Having fought your way through a few brackets, up into it, Mikey accentuating his shortness.
For me, I always want to beat the best archers out there, so I still say one of the best experiences for me, most memorable, was Copenhagen World Championships. I had to face Linda, then Toya, then world ranked #1 Sarah Lopez, all back to back to back. And so I had nothing easy about that to make the medal match. And I felt like I had earned it at the end of the day. It wasn't handed to me. I knew I had worked my way there, and I deserved to be in that gold medal match. There was no question. No one could say I had the easy or someone had given me the match or anything like that. I had to fight tooth and nail to make it to that match. And like I said, it's one of my favorite memories to this day.
I'm kind of the same opinion. I mean, no win is ever overshadowed by another one, really, but you always have a favorite one. And I think if you feel like you've had to earn it a little harder, it's just, you remember it that much more. I think.
For sure. So with that, we wrap up our coverage of the 2018 World Field Archery Championships here in Cortina, Italy.